Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Oh, okay. Got you. I just wasn't sure. That's so funny. I'm trying StreamYard on my phone. So that's why I figured I'd give it a try and see if it works. And it does work. Look at that. All right. How is everybody feeling about what happened with the Lindsay Clancy trial today? Is everybody as ticked off as I am? I feel like I'm so, I don't know. I'm just so upset after what happened today. I feel like that witness, oh, he made me so mad. Just a lion, and I feel like it's really changing a lot of people's minds. You know
See,
what I
I've
mean?
been
Go ahead.
seeing people change for they think he's right, and it's weird. I don't know. Did you see that? Is that what you mean? Because that's what I've seen.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are taking the Nikki when she was doing the polls and like she's been keeping up on the polls. The polls have dropped dramatically for the not criminally responsible. They have dropped so dramatically ever since these witnesses came up. But the problem is these experts are not experts at all. And they're taking everything they say. Like, you know what? One of the things I see them questioning today is because the expert, what was his name? Dr. Hill. What's the hell's his name? Um, Sadoff, whatever the hell his name was, the last guy, Sadoff or whatever his name was. Because he said that Patrick told him that, originally the kid was on the couch, Dawson, eating the chicken nuggets and green beans, but that Lindsay told him she was making dinner and just getting the chicken nuggets out of the fridge. And so now people are questioning it. Elmo Mix, I did not get your email. Prudy, so many people believe him. It's ridiculous. So now all these people are running around talking about, see, I told you it was Patrick. Patrick had something to do with it, and y'all, they ain't playing, right? They are not playing. They are suing people. I'm not trying to get sued. It's ridiculous. Emily, maybe I would have to go check. I don't want to ask you
I
what the
hope they
email was
do
about
get
here.
sued.
You there, she said? I can't
Oh,
even say that.
okay. I can hear you on my phone. Am I echoing or anything?
No,
Can you
you
hear me?
sound fine.
Really? I mean, there ain't nobody in the room, but I'm here. What do I do? Can you hear me? Can you not hear me? What do I do? Can you hear me?
You can hear, you can't, they can't hear us. Who can hear us? Rudy, can you hear Ivory?
Can you hear me?
I think your microphone, she
Oh,
said, is taking over ours. You guys are so funny. You hear everyone. Okay, Lakota, you can hear Ivory. Guys, say Ivory. Say she shed if you guys can hear us. Say our names in the chat. You can hear, okay. They can hear both me and you. Stacy, can you hear me? She shed cannot hear me.
Well, where'd Ivory go? Okay.
No, I'm here. She said I'm
There's nobody
here.
to chat with.
Guys, tell her
Let's
I'm
see.
here. I'm
How do
here,
I
she
share it
said.
out?
You're not. She said,
Channel
you're not.
settings.
She, y'all help her out.
Share screen.
Tell her we can hear her. She can't hear us. She said, you're not the only one. I think she thinks because she's on her live that she's the only one in the room. All of our StreamYards are connected.
Yeah.
So she thinks she's. She said, I can hear you. Sam, can you?
I can hear her.
I don't think she can hear us. She hears like the poltergeist lady. That's so funny.
Oh,
Lisa,
share.
there you go. Wait, she said, read the messages. Read the chat. She said,
No.
what is happening? I needed this one, y'all. She said, damn, text her. Tell her that we can hear her. She can't hear us.
Hmm.
She said, we hear you.
I think she's reading the text. Sam and I can hear each other. The chat can hear all of us. You cannot, you cannot hear anyone. Yeah, let me boot her. So, okay, she said, if you're down there, we could hear you. You couldn't hear us. She was like, nobody's here. Where'd everyone go? That's so funny. Come back, she said. Come back. Here we go.
YT.
Now, can you hear?
Yeah.
Oh, so are you in through the StreamYard link now?
No, I was on. I'm in your whatever you. Yeah, I thought you sent me that because I went live to see if I could do it on YT.
Oh,
And
so
then,
you were. Oh, I got you. You were live at the same time.
yeah, and so
Oh,
it let me in, but I guess you guys could hear me, but I couldn't hear you guys.
that's so funny.
I don't know. I'm learning.
Hey, listen, been there, done that. Nobody's messed up like that as much as I have, man. I only know this stuff because I was there.
Right. I will learn because I was wondering. That's weird. Okay, so I just exit out. Well, at least now I know I can go live on YT. I just don't know if nobody came in.
Because yeah,
Nobody came in.
they're
Oh,
all in. You're so funny. They were all in StreamYard. They're all with like they're all in the same chat.
who is? What is?
The chat. The people
Oh,
in here.
are they all in there? Hold on, please.
Hey guys, go over to Shishets.
Oh, I signed off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Hey, you're
because
still live. It's still live on your page because we're
is
streaming
it?
to everyone's page here.
Oh,
So when I go live on StreamYard, because you guys
Can you not hear me now? Or did you go away? How do I end it?
How are you ending what? You don't want to end it. Can you hear me?
I can now. You cut out there for a
Yeah,
minute.
you don't want to end it because I'm streaming to both your lives since you're in it. So everybody gets credit. So
Okay, so
you're technically live on your page through this.
oh,
StreamYard is streaming this live to both you, Canceled, and me. So
oh.
everybody gets credit for the live. And it's not just like Ivory goes live and you guys are just on my panel. It's so all of us can get credit for the live.
So I wonder if I could do it. Could I still do it on the computer? I wanted to find out if the mics and the sound was working on it.
Okay, and you could still go live through the StreamYard, just you have to go through the StreamYard link.
Okay, I would have to have it sent to the computer. I don't know. We'll figure it out another time. I got plenty of time. What are we talking about tonight?
The Lindsay Clancy trial and how aggravated I am after that whole circus.
Yeah. It's just I can't
Everybody is running with the whole Patrick is guilty because of what the guy said.
see. I didn't get to watch it all. Yeah, I didn't get to watch it all. Hey, can you send? Hold on. Hold on.
What's happening? Are you hearing everyone, Ava?
Sorry, my kids all had a meltdown at the same time.
That's all right. I thought today
Hey,
was going to be an.
at least you didn't have to make 30 grilled cheeses with 3
I,
loaves of bread and 5
I was
pounds of cheese.
I was just going to say that, guys. I'm not even lying. If I went and showed you right now, I had to do it in 3 waves because my daughter and her kids were here, then my kids, and some of them are just coming home from gymnastics and soccer. And I kid you not, there's got to be about 30 something grilled cheeses out there. And I'm like, I'm just over it. I thought grilled cheese would be an easy dinner because everyone had somewhere to go, and then realized that I needed like 30 of them.
Did you find out what was going on outside?
Oh, the SWAT? I don't know why they were here. I haven't found out yet.
We thought Ivory was going to jail.
There was SWAT around my house, not around my house, but a couple of blocks down. And my husband sent me a picture of it because he was caught in the traffic. And so I sent it to them, and they're like, Ivory, what'd you do? You snapped. Not this time, not today. So, Emily, I just got your email. I don't want to, but yes, Emily, I just get your email just now. Hey, Alicia.
Alicia's in here. Hi, Alicia.
All right, guys. So, what's the consensus with the Lindsay Clancy trial, guys? We have to catch She Shed Up. I don't even remember what happened. It was so wild.
I saw him after court.
Oh, did you hear him calling? Y'all, did you hear him calling John DePietro a weasel?
A
That was John
weasel.
DePietro he called a weasel.
Is that
And
the
I'm not,
one that was hanging around with
yes,
Wackadoodle?
yes, with the Nancy Guthrie.
I thought so.
Yeah. Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
You little weasel. Get away from me.
He's like, I know you. I saw what you said, weasel. Get away from me, you weasel. You're a weasel. I saw you, he said.
That means he's seen him on TikTok, I guarantee you.
Oh, he did. He said that. He said that. Picking on his bald head, the nerve. That right? That's so funny. Yeah, John DePetro, I don't know. But listen, I get what people got to do for clicks and views. Just, I don't know. he didn't take too kindly to it. And you sit there, you're out there, you open your big mouth and you do all these things and people don't realize they watch us. How many times have we had these people reach out and you know what I mean? Like they watch.
Right.
So be careful what you say. If you're not willing to stand 10 toes down, I don't suggest you say it. I actually like this better because I can see the chat good. Can I pin a comment? Oh, look at that. I can.
Are you on your computer?
No, I'm on my phone. I was like, let me try and StreamYard through my phone.
See, I wanted to try it on the computer, but you would have to send that to me in that email that I sent you this morning because it's the only email I think I could get on in here.
So can you not get Facebook Messenger on your computer?
I haven't loaded Facebook yet. I've loaded TikTok.
You want me to text you the link since you're on it's on your phone? You can exit out and click on the
But-
link from your phone text.
She's trying to click on the link from her computer and she doesn't know how to get it there.
Oh, in the chat, Stacy, just give me that email and I'll send it to you.
Well, I don't know if I can even get in that email. Hold on. Let me see if I can get in that. Let me make sure I can get in that. Now I know I can get it on TikTok. Can you drop it in TikTok?
Yes.
Okay, drop it in TikTok messengers. I can go there. And then if it doesn't work, I'm not going to mess with it. I'll just come back here to my phone, but I can't see all the little writing and any of it.
I hear that.
It's hard. I'm
So
blind and deaf.
that's so funny. So where's Nikki? Because I'm curious what the polls are showing now. Does anyone know what the polls are showing?
I don't.
Man, this guy was a hot mess today, Stacy. Today was probably one of the most frustrating days so far because it wasn't just one thing that happened, it was multiple things that happened.
So what happened at the end?
At the end, so the guy was testifying and he lied. He literally said that when he spoke to Lindsay, Lindsay told him that he was trying to go through like the order of how the night happened and how it progressed. And then he went on to say that she swallowed a bunch of handfuls
Where'd Sam
of
go?
pills, and that he
And
doesn't
now I
know how
can't
she.
hear you, Ivory.
Oh, did you?
That's weird. Okay, I can't hear Ivory.
You can't
And
hear me?
Sam disappeared. Can you all hear Ivory?
I can hear you, Stacy.
Back here is where I'll be doing TikTok lives. Can't wait. Here is going to be in the very back corner, my bathroom. Right here under this window
Who's she
is going to be
listening
my
to?
coffee bar. I am so
Stacy,
excited,
who are
guys.
you listening
All this
to?
carpet's going to be ripped out.
I'm with you,
Y'all, what
Morbid.
is
You're
on my
not
face? A
lying.
spider?
They do owe us compensation to watch that. That's crazy. It made me so mad that he blatantly lied. I know everyone on TikTok is running with, look, see, Patrick was the one who made up the story. It's driving me crazy. Stacy's looking like she has no idea. Can you hear us, Stacy? No, she can't. Hey, Mercy, did you watch oh, Mercy. Did you watch the trial? What a hot mess it was today. What a hot mess. The guy, Gregory Stadoff, the prosecution's expert, pretty much lied. It was wild. Stacy, you can't hear me. I'm the only one in here with you guys. That's so funny. They've abandoned us, guys. But yeah, it was, and it was a CNN article where I saw Patrick has been looking. Yeah, Patrick is looking to sue these creators that are accusing him of murdering his kids. Gregory Stadoff, one of the prosecution's witnesses today, pretty much lied and said that his version of events that Lindsay told him was that she went upstairs and she cut her wrists and her neck and then took a bunch of handfuls of pills. And he's like, I don't know how. I was really wondering how she would take so many pills. And then the prosecution was like, no, she didn't take the pills. Did she mention any other way? And he's like, no, but he forgot about the crushing of the pills. And so, yeah. So then she had to lead him back, and he was like, oh, that's right. Patrick told me that she cut the pills. It was so bad. So bad. And the problem is these people are running with it, believing these people. It's just, it's so wild. It made me so upset. You heard about that part? Oh, it was so bad. And then tomorrow, I guess he's going to finish with the prosecution. And then Red's going to tear him apart because he pretty much lied the entire time. He was stuttering. He was not really answering the question at hand. He was just going off on these tangents. Yeah, I was embarrassed for him too. Oh, there's Sam.
Okay, I'm back. I sent her the link and I made a post on TikTok that we're live. And my husband took my youngest because he's, 2. And so he's being 2. And yeah, I'm back. What did I miss?
Well,
No,
that
now
didn't
you tell.
work.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can now. A while ago, the minute Sam dropped out, I lost sound.
Oh,
And so I went ahead and dropped out and thought, well, I'll go try that. And it took me a minute to figure out how to cut and paste. And then I think it's telling me I have to download it on the computer first.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you do.
But I know how to cut and paste now.
That's so funny that you should just learn that. You're so cute, Stacy. Hey,
Well,
Sarah.
you want to know the last time I had a computer was when my kids were still home.
Are you serious?
I kid you not, I've not messed with the computer since then.
Oh, wow.
Why? I had one in my phone, in my hand all the time.
That's true. Mercy said, I did watch the story about the woman laughing in court. You mean the lady, Mercy, with the green dress? It's like that woman who said that her dad said something about she can't take pictures.
Oh God, she got fired from her
Did
job.
she?
Yeah,
What was her job?
she worked for, I forget what magazine. It's a popular magazine, and they fired her for being
Was she the
unprofessional.
reporter?
Yeah. She got in because she was a reporter.
Oh, I thought she was just some rando watching. She was
She was a
supposedly writing
reporter?
a page in Vanity Fair and New Lindsay,
Yeah,
and she got
Vanity Fair.
fired.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
That sucks.
you got to think about it. This is a triple homicide trial. This isn't a joke. I mean, we can make jokes about the idiots who think Patrick's guilty, but I'm not going to make jokes about. I even think it's insensitive to do the reenactment with the Bratz dolls. So, I
Yeah,
don't.
first of all, you think if it was that easy, they wouldn't just be sitting there using Barbie dolls and Barbie houses and Malibu Dream houses for a court? Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, you didn't break nothing. You didn't break the case with the Bratz dolls. Like, it's just wild. These wild theories are just getting crazy. They're getting out of hand. She was friends at one time with Lindsay. Was she really?
That's what I heard.
Oh, wow. Are we talking about the way Pat is so guilty? Absolutely, Adam.
Adam's over here. Hey, I figured out why I'm having a hard time seeing in the chat.
Why?
I'm sitting here trying to look like Cajun Navy Jen, and I can't concentrate without seeing myself.
She was live today.
Was
No,
she?
she was not.
Yeah, she was, and she just kept. Adam, just tell them what you messaged me on TikTok.
I saw something where she was trying to say she lived next to them. I knew she was around the girl. I knew I knew that he was around that girl in New York. Oh. Oh, wow. So yeah, what's being
You are.
stated on the social media streets? I see you laughing, Mercy.
Is she live now?
Well, isn't she the one that came up with a theory where they hosed her off in the front yard? Like, why didn't he just kill her then? If he wanted her dead, he didn't take time to whip out the hose in the middle of the winter, a northeastern winter, that where the spigot was probably frozen, and then hose the chick down just so she can get super cold and have an argument about a body temperature being 82 degrees. He would have just killed her. Like, I don't understand the logic in that. So he, instead of just killing her and offing her like he originally planned, he decided, you know what? I'm going to go wet her with a hose. Did they even have a hose there? Who keeps their hose hooked up in the winter?
Spigot. And I'm like, yeah, a spigot's on everybody's back door. Like, does that mean if I get wet and I'm out back and I fall and hurt myself, that Chris went outside and went, ha ha, here, let me just hose you off?
Do
Go
we
ahead.
have a replay of that where we can listen to it?
Which one?
I think it's on Boston 55.
Sarah said, oh, also I found all the motions and filings from the doctor's responses for the civil case and the new amended lawsuit. That 60 pages, I have the link. It was filed June of this year. The amended one. The civil case was amended. Hey, Susan. Is that
Hey,
what you're saying, Sarah? What was amended, I wonder? What was changed in the civil lawsuit? People just making an argument, no direction. Yeah, it makes no sense. It's just something to talk about. And it's like, get out of true crime then and go to shit talk, doc. You know what I mean? Like,
There's a
go
lot of
change
those
yourself to a
creators out there.
page. Yeah. But I hope he does sue. I think that if you're going to be that reckless, then you deserve to be sued, in my opinion. It's one thing for speculation if these people are part of a case and they were once looked at like a suspect, but just added more stuff and all the responses from the defendants. I'm curious. I'm talking to Tex because it's my week to carpool soccer. Oh, well, Sarah, don't listen. I hear that. I'll find the link as soon as I park. Yeah, take your time. They continue.
check the chat in here.
Check the chat. They continue to grasp to debunk claims to prove their argument. They keep talking about having an open mind, but after I debunk their theories, time after time, they still create more, so they clearly don't have an open mind. Yeah, I agree. From Tuft and McLean from Gelato. Oh, Gelato. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that. I would love to go over that.
I'm gonna try something.
Yes, Sam.
Okay.
Anybody. I don't mind anybody. I just because of like these people are still trying to knock me down. Just want to be careful.
Susan, I sent you a link to come up.
Yeah, anybody who wants to come up is more than willing. I just don't want to drop it in the chat because we know what they've been doing.
Yeah.
And these strangers can come along and all of a sudden they're in the back chat and we're watching them go at it like bunnies.
Oh, did you hear
So,
oh, I'll tell y'all what happened.
what?
No, I'll say it. I don't care. We're over here on YT. Did y'all see where Mimi posted a picture of Coffee Queen and her husband in bed?
No.
Listen, how does Mimi get a picture of Coffee Queen with her husband in bed? That's my question. How does
If-
somebody get a picture of you and your husband in bed?
If I remember, Jen, 16 devices. Apparently, allegedly, and this has been a while back, so don't quote me, had access to Coffee Queen's videos, cameras.
Wait, what happened?
What?
Somehow, Jen
16
had
device Jen, right?
16 device Jen.
Hey, Susan.
Hey guys, I'm gonna put in my earbuds. Hopefully that'll work. There. Can you hear me?
Hello,
Yeah.
Strawberry Bunny.
So 16 device Jen had access to Coffee Queen's security cameras and stuff.
Yes,
That's
What?
like really illegal.
Hold on. What?
that's what I understood a while back now. Like I said, don't quote me. Don't quote me. It was all when the rookie and Jen and all that was going on. But somehow now Jen is hanging out with Mimi and Mimi has the pictures.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, that's too much. Like that's
Going
You're
way too
asking for it at
far.
that point. You're trusting somebody you never met on the internet.
Yeah.
Sammy, can you repeat that about Momo?
I guess Stacy was saying that she has access to Coffee Queen's security cameras.
Oh, yeah, that's illegal.
Yeah, it's hella. You can't even have security cameras legally.
Well,
Like in, say, you have a roommate, like near in their to show into their bedroom or something, or like your camera outside cannot face completely in your neighbor's backyard. That's
so
illegal.
technically, it's
Yep.
not illegal. It is not illegal if you give it to them. If you give it to them, you're responsible.
But did she give it Coffee Queen? Why would Coffee Queen give her her security camera
How else
stuff?
would she get it if she didn't? Do you think I would be able to break into your security camera?
No, because it's no, I don't.
So the only way I could get into your security camera is if you give it to me. And please don't be sending me. I don't want none of your all security cameras. Nothing. Nobody's getting mine. Like that's where I draw the line. Love you girls. Love everybody in the chat, but that's just a
No,
little too much.
I don't want nobody's security cameras. I don't want nobody's pin
Hell
numbers.
no.
I don't want
Even
nobody's
that, but
password.
why do you have cameras in your bedroom? I don't have cameras in my bedroom.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, no.
I mean, unless you're, producing, but hey, whatever. To each his own. No
Yeah.
judgment.
Yeah. So
Honey,
I
can
just
we put
thought that was
cameras in
kind
the
of
bedroom?
weird.
He just said no before I even finished that sentence. I asked my husband, I said, can we put cameras in the bed? He's like, no.
Nope.
Then I'll just go and give the girls the password to the security system. He's laughing.
No thanks. What you would see in my camera if it was you guys had access was me and my husband's fat ass laying in bed eating saltwater taffy or something. And he'd be like, you guys are pigs.
Did you know how
Why
easy it is for those things to get hacked? He goes, they're really easy to get hacked.
they are. I think Jen might have bought those for her.
It doesn't. That's wild still. That's weird.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense, huh? She said.
I wouldn't have known because I have Mimi blocked, but I saw that Dreamer, and there was a whole debacle about that picture a while back. And I scrolled TikTok earlier, and Dreamer made a have a seat video.
Listen, I haven't been keeping up with. I've honestly been doing my own thing. I haven't really been keeping up with all of the social media drama because I'm just not. I quite frankly, if you're gonna stand in a live and cry because somebody's got a picture of you and your husband in bed, because you went and gave somebody a security camera footage
Oh, no.
passcode. I don't even know what to say. You deserve everything you get at that point.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up. I don't know what's going on. And honestly, when I go in chats and I trying to watch, I lose interest. I don't care, and I leave. I am to the point I just don't, and I don't care anymore. Honestly,
Yeah,
I've
I've
been
been more
on,
focused on the nonsense that people have been spewing out about the stuff I'm covering. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to go debate and argue.
yeah.
Except, you know, Adam's been struggling in the debating.
well, you can't debate Jen.
Well,
Like,
we were on the trial all day today, and then I just was watching Dolly tributes and stuff like that.
Oh,
okay,
my kids
so
were even upset about Dolly.
I cried. I'm gonna cry.
I know I wasn't a huge fan of her country music, but I did like all her other music that she wrote and her movies that she did, especially Steel Magnolias was my favorite. Um, I don't know. I just think she was an incredible woman. I really do, in
My
every way.
husband came walking in, and he goes, "Are you crying?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "About Dolly?" And I said, "Yeah." And I go, "I know
Oh,
it's stupid." And he goes, "It's okay. You've known her your whole life. Like you've never,
yeah,
it's been your whole life since she's,
yeah.
you know."
Grew up with Dolly.
Then my son keeps sending me TikToks of Dolly and coming out. Did you cry? And I'm like, you're an asshole.
Oh,
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I turned my volume down on the computer, but I'm in your chat on the computer, but I'm in the box on here.
I think you've officially confused the hell out of me.
I think I confused myself.
I have
Okay,
no
whatever.
idea
As
what
long as
you're
we can
talking.
hear you. As long as we can hear you.
Don't ask me about electronics.
Well, I wanted to see if I could see the chat and be able to talk. So I just turned my volume down on the computer
Yeah.
and pulled it up theater mode. Look, pulled it up theater mode,
Nice.
and I can still chat in the comments and hear you guys.
Oh, that's badass.
I'm going to be a master one of these days.
You are.
Slowly going mental. It was like 50 against me earlier. It was mad. Well, did they show any evidence of anything, Adam? I'm interested in evidence. I want to see crap.
I do too. I'm nosy. If I can't see it, then it ain't real. And I'm that type of person too. If,
I
sorry, a
mean,
four wheeler's driving by, because I live in the country and that's, yeah. Um, if, I've always been that person. If you can't prove it, then I don't believe you until you can prove it.
yeah. Morbid Fairy said my first thought was Dolly was someone. Yeah, has anybody checked on Miley?
Oh,
No,
no.
but she did a great cover of Jolene a couple years ago.
She sure
Yeah,
did.
that was nice. No evidence whatsoever. That's a shocker, Adam. Now people are running with everything this guy said today, though. It makes me so mad. She said you had to watch it.
I
You
have
have to
to.
watch it. Yeah, it was bad. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm so excited to so
But
I wonder if I can stream from the phone. I
oh,
have to take my daughter to the college tomorrow um to sign some paperwork at noon. Or maybe
I,
I could do it on the break.
I wish I could. I'd have to you know,
Oh wait, if I leave my computer on and take my phone with me, then you can, we can both deal with the live, but and there's no we paid for premium now, so look
yeah,
at us go. It's
yeah, we can
that's
do that.
Because I
I'll
have to
tell
see
you
this.
what, that premium is really nice, isn't it, Ivory?
It sure is. It sure is, especially when you're streaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to see tomorrow. I can't because I'm like, I have to see it. I need to see Reddington shred them. But again, they're just running with the nonsense. They're running with the whole, oh, Patrick lied. She was making dinner. Like the timeline isn't fitting up. Like they're all running with the nonsense. It's wild.
Well, how the hell did she cook the chicken nuggets?
Well,
That's what
my
I
whole
want to
thing is,
know.
you didn't, it was June of this year when this guy interviewed her. So you think that when she told you the memory that she was looking in the open, had the fridge door open, I was looking at the chicken nuggets, maybe she was putting them away after dinner instead of taking them out?
Yeah.
And it's been years. She
Mm.
remembers looking at the chicken nuggets in the fridge. Maybe it's because she was putting them back instead of taking them out. Like you got to remember, this woman has been through so much therapy.
And she went through psychosis, okay? And like through she jumped out a window. So I'm not gonna hold like those small details, and that's what they're trying to hang on. And I'm like, that's guys, she's admitted to it. Like it's in front of your face. I have never seen somebody admit to a crime and they go, oh, you know what? I think somebody else did it because I don't like the way he rubbed his head.
And what
Yeah.
about the shit that she couldn't have crushed up those pills?
Well, it's not that she couldn't have. The guy straight up lied and said that she swallowed handfuls of pills. Oh.
Oh, I didn't hear that
He
part.
said that's what Lindsay told me. And then the prosecution was like, oh, is that what she did with her pills? Like, did she do something else with her pills? And the guy just looked confused as hell and he's like, I don't think so. She didn't tell you she did something else with the pills? And then he looks and he's looking at the sky like he's seeing visions of Mother Mary. And all of a sudden she goes, oh, but he goes, but Patrick told me that she crushed up the pills. That's right. Patrick told me that she crushed up the pills. And I'm like, you effing liars.
Just wait till
Wild.
Reddington brings up that paperwork. I think
Damn
he's
right.
going to be like, Patrick didn't say, this is what he said. Because I even heard prosecution yesterday misword something to make it sound like she purposely did it, and then she had to reword it. The judge made her reword it because for the question because it made it sound like she was guilty. I mean, she is guilty, but like she was in the right mind.
Yeah, I want to go back and watch it because I really didn't get to see it.
This has been a long trial, though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Seems like it anyway. Seems extra long.
More
After
than
the,
And
I think it went really fast.
you think so? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you figure it's just been a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks.
no, it hasn't.
How
No,
long has it been?
It's
It
been
doesn't
like
seem like that
3.
long.
it's been. First of all, we're on tomorrow's day 21. I'm only in court Monday through Friday. We had a couple of Fridays off.
You're right.
So, so you know what I mean. It's just fast because we're in it. But no, this is so far. It's been over a month.
Man, time flies when you're having fun.
Ain't that the truth? Say it again. They said that closing arguments won't be until Thursday. I think tomorrow, because you guys know how Reddington is, he ain't let nothing get by. So he's gonna be spend the rest of the day tomorrow grilling this guy, and rightfully so, in my opinion. I mean, first of
Th-
all, everyone keeps saying the timeline doesn't fit. Does our timeline not fit everything perfectly? In fact, every doctor has testified to it. Every one of the prosecution's witnesses have testified to the fact that our timeline fits. Everything fits perfectly. You guys
I
want to
think
hear
so.
something really crazy?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my kid, right? I almost, um,
I was so mad. I was like, get out. Go home. My daughter comes home today. She goes, Mom, have you heard about the Lindsay Clancy thing? And I'm like, yeah. Why? Patrick did it. And I'm like, get out of my house. Get out. You are not going to sit here. So me and my daughter were arguing in my
No, she
kitchen
didn't.
for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, what do you see? And she goes, I saw the clips on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, I know you did. But let me tell you what really happened. Sit down, kid. And I sat her down there and I went through the whole thing with her. And she's just like,
Oh,
well, that's not what I saw on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But we don't always go by what's on TikTok, right? Like, here's the facts. I've been watching the trial. Go watch Mama's YouTube,
I was going to say, no, she did not. Now we know why the SWAT team was there.
right? Oh, listen, man, I was so that started my evening. I'm like, I cannot believe that you are going to sit there and try and tell me that Patrick did it because you saw some clips on TikTok and everyone's saying it and they're right. I'm like, I went through the whole timeline with her, and then finally she was like, no, yeah, maybe that's not right. I'm like, you better, or you're not eating.
now does she know that you were covering Lindsay?
She did not know I was covering Lindsay.
Ah, okay. I had a feeling.
Yeah, no,
That's
my
funny.
kids don't watch
Right.
my lives or my content. Actually, one
I don't
daughter
blame her.
does. And the daycare center she works at, they all watch me. They all watch us.
Oh, I love that. That's cool.
So they're all like, ask your mom this, ask your mom that. And I'm like, mom's got no insider information other than what I'm telling you anyway.
That's right.
But no, the rest of them don't. They all came in talking about, do you know Patrick Clancy killed his wife? And I'm like, get out. And my husband, he just looked like his eyes opened wide and he's just looking like, not the time. Not the time as I'm trying to flip 30 freaking grilled cheese sandwiches.
You know what Chris does for everything to piss me off? He'll go against me and then I get mad and he's like, I'm just kidding. And so he tries not to talk about it, but then he thinks it's funny. And I'm like, I'm gonna strangle you. Not really, I'm not going to, you guys.
My husband, sweetie, comes in, tells me about his day. Then he asks me how the trial went, like I'm some attorney or something. And he has absolutely no idea. He just guesses me. He smiles and nods. And I'm like telling him everything, all into it. And he's just like, yeah, uh huh. He only knows what he hears us talk about on the lives at night.
Well, lately Chris has been hearing everything and he goes in the bedroom because I don't think he wants to hear it anymore. So,
Yeah, I think my husband's getting a little bit like you're getting a little too emotionally involved. You're
yeah.
becoming frustrated. You know, like calm down, calm down. It's just
And
I can't handle people not seeing what's obvious in front of their face. It drives me nuts. Like I feel like everyone's doing it to me on purpose. Maybe I'm paranoid. I'm going psychotic.
and this is why I live alone.
Man, I do enjoy how you break things down in the medical aspect. Yeah. And again, like I'm not an expert, but I mean a lot of this stuff you don't need to be an expert to see that these people are they're fluffing it all. They're pulling a bunch of fluff.
I had somebody today because I posted that CNN article of um, Patrick's attorneys giving a warning. It wasn't really a warning. It was actually, we're going to be doing this, even if you're a small creator to a celebrity.
I saw
And
that.
yeah, the way they worded it, and it was like, um, and somebody tried to show me the AI photo of Rachel in the phone. And I'm like, I said, what did I say? I said, like, um, I'm actually offended that you think I'm this stupid to believe an AI photo some random made on TikTok. And they never replied.
That's funny.
Yeah. You know, one of the biggest things that they argue all the time that I'm like, what are you not understanding? is the whole body temperature thing. Like, that's their golden ticket. There's no way. I've asked every medical professional I know, every top-notch, you all know top-notch medical professionals. And all of these medical professionals gave you a medical absolute, which doesn't exist. No doctor's ever going to tell you, there's no way, that's not possible. That's not a thing. No, the doctors don't speak in absolutes, okay? And it's so very possible if you look at the situation. Thank you, Mercy. It's, you know what I mean? If you look at the situation, come on. Like, she was wet. What was she wet from? They said she was soaking wet. She was bleeding and laying on snow,
Well, that's like saying there was no DNA on the knife. Well, what was the blood then?
right? Like, think about it. Like, she was laying on the snow, which is like frozen wet stuff, right? So when it starts getting warm, it's not going to be frozen wet stuff. It's just going to be wet stuff, wet
Right.
stuff.
You have gone over that like in detail so many times, and people, it still doesn't clock. You know what I mean?
It doesn't. That is their golden ticket. And I'm like, do you guys not understand that just because they got her in an ambulance doesn't mean that her spine was fixed and that her body temperature still wasn't actively dropping? And then to sit there and be like, oh, because it would have taken hours. It would have taken, no, we had 5 things working to pull that body temperature down. Not only that, it was still dropping on the way to the hospital because the thing that caused it to drop didn't fix. You can sit there, you're just putting a warmer on her, just is just fighting the drop.
Well, I'm just going to say this. When they say, oh, I spoke to medical professionals, no, you didn't. You didn't go up to a medical professional, some of the best, and say, hi, I'm watching the Lindsay Clancy trial, and can a body temperature get this bullshit? You just want to
Yeah.
argue to be great.
Yeah. Frank Case Analysis, hello. The band's knife, shoes, temp are their only argument. Well, that sounds like a lot, but when you break it down, it's really not because, I mean, the bands, they all shared the same DNA with the parents, so you couldn't differentiate whose it was, right? The knife, well, what do you mean there was no DNA on the knife? There was blood all over it.
And there was a half of a fingerprint they could not test
Well, yeah.
as smudged, but people said, oh, they didn't do a thorough investigation. Well, they did one so much so that they couldn't test the fingerprint, and they tried because it was smudged. Like,
Yeah.
they did such a thorough investigation that they tested the DNA on those bands and how they had to test them. So they didn't just take Patrick's word. They had actual scientists who's gone to colleges with PhDs and experience test these. So no, I'm not going to believe a Bratz Barbie doll reenactment.
Yeah. And what was the thing about the shoes? What did I miss about the shoes? Hey,
They
Haley.
think he changed shoes from CVS to the restaurant.
No,
Oh,
because
gosh, the camera.
and then he also said I took my shoes off when I got home, but he didn't say I took them off. He said I went to take them off. That doesn't mean he took them off. He went to take them off and maybe noticed it was quiet and didn't take them off.
Well, Frank Case Analysis, what do you mean you call that an after drop? What do you mean after drop? Elaborate on that comment. Adam said, well, apparently Jen knows someone from Pat's running club, and it was apparently well known. Listen, Linda. Don't start with me, Adam. Nobody knows anybody from anybody's running club. Will you stop it now? She just happens to know everyone from somewhere.
Oh, because some random person who can't bet who they are and how they know them, said, "Oh yeah, I'm from the running club. Let me spread this around, and you'll believe me." I mean, for God's sake, she said she fucking landed Trump's plane, and she's got Lady Gaga and her got matching tattoos. Like,
She
no.
couldn't even land a decent swimming suit for the ocean in Florida, much less his plane.
And
I
then
love that.
where are bows? That's it. I'm wearing a big bow tomorrow. That's it, Mercy. When someone is exposed to cold without sufficient clothing, their body loses heat directly to the environment. So the core temperature can begin to fall much faster. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly. So not only was she outside laying on ice, she was in neurogenic shock. It's going to drop your body temperature, right? Because her brain wasn't able to send the signal for her body to control her temperature. She wasn't able to shiver or do any of that. Then you got to remember she was on medications and benzos were starting to kick into her system, right? Bring your body temperature down. Her thyroid was injured.
Yeah,
So
like
your body temperature.
going in and out, Ivory. You s-
You had like
good.
5 or 6 different things all together, bringing her body temperature down. And just because you got her in an ambulance in a bear hugger doesn't mean you fixed all the things that are still making her temperature drop. Yeah. Hey, what? Hey, Wi-Fi. So that's what I'm saying about, tell me you don't understand it without telling me you don't understand it. Well, you people, going around sitting there being like, I talk to no medical professional is ever going to say, no, it's not possible. They're not, listen, they'll tell you anything's possible because anything is possible. But nobody's ever going to tell you that it's not possible. Because if there's anything a medical professional knows is how much they don't know about the human body and the human brain. So that's it. Because the core body temperature already was affected because she was only wearing a tank top. Correct.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
then injury, thyroid, injury, loss of blood, wet, cold. So it was a perfect
Then
storm. The whole
did you guys hear that Gregory Stratham guy today? I don't know what to call him. Good old Greg. Um,
hello.
Say that again.
did you
You're
hear that guy Gregory? Sorry, I was moving away from my phone. That guy Gregory today was testifying about how she went upstairs and she went back downstairs to kill one kid, went back up.
Ivory, we keep losing you for some reason.
Yeah, she keeps.
cutting out.
Oh, am I cutting out?
Bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now you're okay.
am I?
Yeah. Now
Hold
you're
on,
good.
let me go back. I gotta go stand next to my but yeah, so the guy was testifying about how
Oh,
She gone.
she's gone.
wait, can
She
you really
gone.
not hear me?
There you are.
There you are.
You're back.
Damn. What are you
Hey
doing to me?
guys,
No.
we're gonna start a GoFundMe for Ivory a new phone.
No. No. Ivory refuses. My husband keeps trying to get me to buy a new phone and listen, everything I need is in this phone. I don't
You
want to
can
have to
transfer
switch
it
all
all.
over and possibly lose something. I don't want a new phone.
Yeah,
Is it an
getting a new
iPhone?
phone is a pain.
No, I don't do iPhones.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. But
I
I
love my
did get to
iPhone.
see some of that, and I found that very interesting because we've all wondered how it happened. What exactly did she do? Where did she do it? And it answered a lot.
Yeah. Brianna said, I did hear that, but I don't believe that wouldn't the other child have heard it and ran and hid? So, you know what I think happened? I mean, how much noise? It's really not easy. I mean, it's really not hard to walk up behind somebody and strangle them. Like, I think that people are making, once you get that rope tight, there's no noise being made.
Yeah.
Like, they're little kids. They're not big grown, 6-foot men. So, to walk behind a kid, put the rope around his neck, hold it for 30 seconds till he drops, there's no noise being made, and then walk into the next room where the little girl is sitting with the baby and do it to her. What's the baby going to do? Scream? The baby has no idea what's going on. I don't think she made 55 trips upstairs. They're making it more complicated than it is.
So I want to know, what was the question that he asked about the Apple Watch?
So did he ask about the Apple Watch today? I don't know. I was literally pacing in my office. That's how bad it was.
I came in, well, I had to turn my phone off, and somebody, one of them, I don't remember which, was saying something about the Apple Watch.
Oh, I didn't hear him mention that. I mean,
I thought.
but Frank case analysis is right. Without a mental health background, or, this case is extremely easy to misunderstand. And that's what I've been saying, right? Is it really is. Because if you don't understand, if you have no healthcare background and no knowledge of how this stuff works, it's really easy to get lost and believe people who are sounding like experts, right? This guy today, or not this guy, because this Greg guy was wild. But Dr. Helburn talked really good. He talked a good talk, right? He was sitting there using these big words, really making it sound, but if you listen to him, he wasn't. And if you understood what he's saying, he wasn't making any sense. He just kept, again, they're working backwards from a diagnosis, and that's obvious, but it's not to people who don't have that mentality or that ideology or that background. Yeah, the only thing he said about the watch was that it showed elevation to her going upstairs. But if it showed that elevation, wouldn't it have shown her going up the stairs 5 times in a row? And it didn't show that. It only showed 2 elevations.
You would think.
The steps don't make any difference. So the steps from the basement would make a difference, right? Because they had a lot of stairs. It wasn't just 2 or 3 stairs. From what I saw, that was a pretty large staircase, right? He was all over the place. He was hard to follow. Yeah. Sam, do you remember the house? That basement staircase was pretty big.
Was it?
And I did not even watch the trial today, but I know how it works in trials. Oh, Frank Case, if you did not watch the trial, you need to watch it. You'll be so mad.
Yeah.
Is there like parts of it that you can like fast forward through?
I can. If you guys give me like 20 minutes, let my kids get settled, I'll play it for you guys if you want. I can stream it because I'm not on my computer right now, but I can be in about 15 minutes. You don't need to
Oh,
watch
okay.
it? Oh, I'm sure you don't need to watch it, but the show they put on today, the obvious lying was the most ridiculous thing. I mean, even the jury had to have known. People may not agree on what we think happened that day, but everyone has to agree with all the common sense in them that guy was obviously lying today.
Yeah, I felt he was definitely lying. I mean, and
Yeah,
I do
I
think the
from what I've
jurors
seen,
will
it
be
was
able
a
to see
circus
that.
today.
Yep.
And I did see Reddington just sitting over there like just the
Yep.
look on his face.
Yeah.
Y'all want to hear something funny? Today was the second day of school, right? My kids have been fighting with me because they want their bedtime to be moved from 9:30 to 10 because, Mama, I'm grown. 10 o'clock is good. That's enough sleep. And I'm like, all right, we'll try it out. And my kid just came to me at 8:30 and goes, I just took a shower. I'm going to bed. I'm
Did you
really
say your
tired.
bedtime's not till 10?
My kids, they wanted a 10 o'clock bedtime instead of 9:30, so they've been fighting with me. And I told
Oh,
them,
I
okay,
thought you
we'll
said
try it.
8:30 in the beginning. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
but
that
when they
is a
come to
little
you at
early.
8:30, did you tell them, well, your bedtime's not till 10?
I said, you sure you don't want to stay up till 10? She goes, Mama, please, I'm so tired. I'm going to bed now.
I
I'm
say,
like,
Oh,
no, we got a couple more things you need to do. Let's play a game.
oh, mercy. The judge is so over this trial. He is so. And you know what? Another thing they're running with is that the judge is being biased. I do not think the judge is being biased at all.
I don't either.
I mean, let's be real. He was being really lenient on the Commonwealth in the beginning, but they've been pulling some stunts that, like, it's not biased now. He's just fed up with their bullshit.
So where is Nikki at? I want to know what the poll is now.
I don't know. Somebody go to TikTok and find her. Tell her to come over here.
I'll do it right now. I just logged in. And I
The
have a
judges,
split screen on the computer. This is
look at
amazing.
look at you. You're so funny.
Where'd
Look
Sammy
at
go?
you.
Oh,
Oh, Sam will be
Bye,
back.
Sammy.
She pops in and out.
Okay.
The judge was so mad. The judge was so mad. And Frank
Yeah, the
Case
judges
said,
had it.
yeah, expert witnesses can overcomplicate their own understanding because they're being paid to analyze and defend a professional opinion for one side, not to independently truth find the entire case. That couldn't be more true. That's the truth. And like this guy said, the Commonwealth tried to make it a point today to say how this Greg guy, the Virginia guy, wasn't being paid by them, but his employer was. That's even worse. Because now he has to put on a show because his job is on the line because now his employer's getting paid for his expertise. Like, come on. Are we for real? He's
oh,
been
I did
over,
hear where he was asking that one doctor how much he makes an hour.
and the poor guy said
That was
$300.
wild. That was
300 an
wild, she
hour.
said. Yeah.
How embarrassing, first of all, for the first two to be like, nah, I made a couple $100 off this case. And then this guy to be like, probably about 54,000. I'm like, damn, you really aren't an expert, are you? Not only that, where's Sam? Because the guy who testified last today, the Greg guy, I heard that his testimony was thrown out in other cases that he testified for as an expert. That it was withdrawn or like there was like 4 or 5 of them where his testimony was thrown out for not being a quote unquote expert.
Are you talking about Mac or the other one?
No, the Greg guy today. He has testified in a couple other cases, but I heard his was thrown out.
Oh, I really got to go watch it then.
Frank Hay said, I have a degree in criminal psychology and worked in mental health, but unexplained and abnormal behavior. So I'm looking through this case through behavior, mental state, and clinical patterns, not just surface level actions. Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you, Frank Case, what do you think? What is your opinion on this case? And please don't come at me with Patrick did it. Please. I was liking you.
Please don't.
I know, right? Yes.
Okay, I sent her a message.
Thank you, Frank Case. Thank you.
Let me see what he said. Honey, he did not. Yeah.
Honestly, as long as you don't think it's Patrick, you can listen. Opinions, I love opinions. I love the ones that are different from me, right? I love to debate. I love to talk. So as long as you don't think that Patrick did it, you're good in my book. Doesn't even matter what else you think.
Oh, Frank says, honey, he did it. He
He did not.
He did not.
show us some proof in the chat. Frank, please show us some facts.
No. Frank Case said, honey, he did not. As in Patrick did not do it.
Oh,
He did
sorry.
not.
My bad, Frank. I can't read
It's been
because
a
of my
long
hearing.
day. It's been a long day.
I just glanced at it and I was like, he did it. No, he didn't do it.
Ava said, I think she got caught up in her own head too much trying to be perfect. And what usually made her successful ultimately was her child's demise.
I don't think that it was about being perfect though. I think she didn't want to be away from her kids.
Well, I will say this, and again, this is from my experience, right? Type A personalities are really more vulnerable to these more significant mental health issues, right? That's a fact. Um, However, I personally feel like I can see the escalation in the illness, right? I can see the escalation, the lack of treatment, and how it just continued to escalate. And then for that guy today to sit there and be like, well, then all of a sudden she started hearing voices. Well, at some point, there's a first time for everything, right? So there's a first time that everybody starts hearing voices.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, but I mean, if you take it and go, oh, she was just trying to be too perfect, was it that, or was it the fact that she didn't want to be away from her kids? I mean, she loved her kids that much that she was scared to go back to work.
but no, she wasn't. First of all, I think postpartum period, I was a little anxious about going back to work, right? I didn't want to go and
Right.
leave my kids. And let's be real, I love my husband, but like nobody can mom like I can mom, right? And so I don't think it was that she was so much afraid and she didn't want to leave her kids. I think that every mom returning to work has that little bit of anxiety. Even though it was like, man, I can't wait to go back and be somebody other than mom, you're still anxious.
I
Right.
Um,
had
and
postpartum
she,
and I didn't have to return back to work
you
because
know,
Because,
I was
she was
missing,
afraid the little one wouldn't take a bottle, so she was worried he wouldn't
yeah,
eat.
but I was missing my work. Like I was feeling guilty for not contributing to the family. Like
Ivory, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
no, I'm
everybody
not.
takes it.
Oh,
I
okay.
think everybody has postpartum in
I
different
mean, I
ways.
don't know. I don't understand postpartum because I've never had it. So,
Yeah, I did.
So Frank
Just
Case,
once though. Just once.
Frank Case just said what happened here was a woman in severe psychological distress, and there's an entire clinical and forensic framework for understanding this kind of behavior, maternal infanticide, including cases associated with postpartum psychiatric illness. Yeah, absolutely. Like I had postpartum anxiety. I had it really bad. I didn't realize I had postpartum anxiety until it was over, if that makes sense. Like at the time I didn't realize it was an issue, so I didn't complain about it. I think that my husband knew something was wrong, but I don't think he realized there was an illness related to it. But I literally, like I told you, I could not go about my day and do anything. If I went grocery shopping, I would stop
you cut out again, Ivory.
on a window open, and they were babies. There was nobody reaching a window. But because I feel like I didn't close a window, I would leave my entire shopping cart and go home. Or I couldn't sleep at night because every 5 seconds it was like, I
Oh,
feel like she stopped breathing. You know what I mean? If I
right.
was driving and she was in the back of the car, I would just randomly pull over because I'm like, what's wrong? Something's wrong. Everything. It was just anxiety about things that just didn't make sense now that I think about it, but I didn't think anything of it, you know? But it was real in my head. Like that baby totally was going to get up to that window and open it at 4 days old,
Right. I don't
I
know.
you
I
just
think
know?
maybe I
cried
did have
terribly.
anxiety, afraid that they would roll
Like,
over and quit
just
breathing,
cried.
or
I don't know.
that the blanket would smother them, or, I would always have to like go in the middle of the night and just like lay my hand on them just to make sure they were
I
breathing.
can't hear you, ladies. I'm going to
So
drop
maybe I
down. I
did have
can't
a
hear
little
you
bit.
guys.
You can't hear us?
Sam, you
I could.
disrupted it.
Sorry.
I'm
What?
just kidding.
What'd you say, Ivory?
Oh, I
I
didn't
have
say anything.
I have anxiety with my 4-year-old because I see things all the time about eloping, and yeah, so I'm constantly getting up and like checking the doors.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, but if you look at this clinic, like in my opinion, and again, I am, what am I? I'm a nurse who worked in psych, right? But when I look at this and I listen to the
Ivory, you're gone again.
You're cutting.
every, oh, hold on. I started hearing that immediately after giving birth, she started having some slight symptoms. And over time, these symptoms escalated because of the lack of treatment in them. Eventually, it got so bad that it led to a psychotic break. It led to a psychosis. You know what I mean? Like I just can't defend. Well, it only happened that one time. Yeah, everyone. It always happens that first time. I mean, then she was in the hospital in a coma and medicated. So you know what I mean? I just saw an escalation in all of the symptoms get worse and worse and worse. And so when you see them getting so bad, you would expect a psychosis. That's when I would expect it, at least.
Well, see, and that's like Mercy saying that her daughter took out anxiety by cutting her hair. I I don't understand stuff like that because I've never been around it.
I have a thing where when I'm having really anxious, I pick up my scalp. I've done it since I was little, and I don't even realize I'm doing it sometimes. And it's just like a anxiety nerve thing I do.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
I
Yeah.
went to I went to a class. It was a educational training class when I was in Georgia for a little bit while I was waiting to go out on the road because I had to get licensed there. And there was this girl that was there that I was working with or training with, and I just kept looking at her thinking, man, something about her looked so funny, but I couldn't put my finger on it. She pulls her eyelashes and her eyebrows out. She had no eyelashes and no eyebrows.
My daughter does that.
Oh, that
One
would
of my
hurt.
one of my older daughters plucks her eyelashes out. She doesn't know why. She pulls them out.
I can't. Oh, that would just hurt so freaking bad. I mean, I accidentally grabbed my eyelash with my crimper and it hurts.
So Frank Case just said, and that is why we're having a trial. A psychological diagnosis alone does not remove criminal responsibility. The court still has to determine whether her mental state met the legal standard
Yeah.
for insanity, which is why prison remains legally possible. I agree. Absolutely, I agree. Um, However, I don't think at this point that they have proven anything. Not from what I've seen. I don't feel like they have proven that. But
Well,
again, when you're looking at a jury, you just don't know what they're seeing or what they're taking, what their perception of all of these testimonies and evidence and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I
and
mean, yeah,
and how severe the case is. It's three little children under 5. And
yeah.
so their uh, feelings of like I don't care if they just I don't care, and because they did have to see the autopsy photos and stuff, so that could just I don't know, and I think that's why they're mad that they showed those, because then it's a biased possible verdict from seeing photos like that.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that it's possible that she is found guilty, right? And not the insanity doesn't fly or the lack of criminal responsibility doesn't fly. But again,
See,
it all just depends on the perception of the jury and what they take into consideration and what their level of understanding is.
Well, I do think if she is found guilty that she will appeal it, and I think that might be where she can be deemed uh not guilty by reason of insanity, aka not criminally liable. um and that's what happened with my cousin Dean. He heard voices and did his thing, and then they had to appeal that, and it came back he was you know um not guilty by insanity basically at that time.
I don't know. I think she'll get the insanity part. In my opinion, I think she will. I think she'll get guilty by reason of insanity.
But that's not what the argument is, though. I think that more or less it's more, not only was she insane, was she criminally responsible? Did she
You cut out, Ivory. We're buying Ivory a new phone.
Because, yeah, StreamYard doesn't work good with this. But it's more along the lines of criminal responsibility than it is insanity, right? She could be insane, but did she know what she was doing was criminal?
I don't think so.
I agree. I feel like at that point, I don't see it. I don't see anything proving that she was aware of the
Yeah.
crime and she was committing the crime. And you know what I mean? I agree.
You know, even
think
even
so.
if you think about it, some of the questions that was asked, well, how did you get Cora to go downstairs? She didn't know. She didn't know if the little
Who
one
didn't
was
know?
in a playpen or
Well, that's what the guy was saying, but I don't believe that's true. Because, I
okay.
mean, that's what he was saying, but we know that he was lying about a lot of stuff today, right?
Okay,
Nobody
that's what you
else,
were talking about. Okay.
yeah, nobody else stated those things. So now you're sitting there saying that you know, and again, I don't believe it because I mean, it makes sense to me that he finished the chicken nuggets when daddy walked out the door and they all went downstairs to watch some TV. That they were already in the basement. And that's why when she started hearing the voices, it became a crime of opportunity. Those bands were there.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes more sense. Like I said, I only got to hear little bits and pieces, so
Because it would be easier to run up, get a knife, and stab them, and then you ain't got, I mean, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Or to poison them. Or do,
Right.
pull an Andrea Yates, drown them in a bathtub.
Yeah.
Have you heard people criticize Patrick because the way that their house looked in the photos? And I'm like, she's got 3 kids under 5. Because there's toys and it wasn't decorated nice.
I
Like,
don't think it was dirty.
it wasn't dirty. It's just you got kids.
They
They're
lived in it.
it was lived in, and like me, you don't want to spend a bunch of money on furniture. Your kids are gonna spill juice on and pee on and puke on. Like,
You know, it just makes sense to me. And honestly, I wonder if Patrick leaving wasn't a trigger for her.
Yeah.
Wasn't the one thing that triggered this psychosis, right? Or triggered this feeling. Like I believe that him leaving was the trigger.
So do you think it was what do you I was thinking about this today. Don't think I'm crazy. Um what if the trigger was when he called and said that they were out of what Cora needed?
I mean, it could have been, but I don't know why that would be a trigger. But anything could be a trigger because, again, you know what I mean? You don't know how people are perceiving things. I just feel like, you know, we knew that she was feeling crappy that day, right? Like we knew she was already having a bad day, though she was putting on the plight. It looked like she was having a good day. She explained that as being otherwise. Like she didn't sleep well the night before. She still went through the motions, smiled, played with a snowman, right? Because that's what we do as parents. We smile and we do the things we don't want to do anyway. Um, and I really do. I think that, you know, him leaving, you don't know if those kids, you know, started crying, something happened, the crying got to her, you know, what triggered her, but she was triggered the second he left. And the timeline fits because if you say that the phone call triggered, then what time did she have to do all this at that point? But if you consider him leaving the trigger or saying that she was triggered at the time he left, that gives more time for the actual crime to have happened.
Yeah, Lindsay won't be taking the stand, no. Frank said, personally, I've witnessed postpartum crisis and suicide behavior, and a perceived abandonment or separation event can be a major trigger for the psychological collapse. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and think about it. You don't know if those kids, it was late at night. They were exhausted from being up all day playing in the snow. I don't know about you guys. I know my kids are exhausted after playing with the snow.
Yeah.
Fighting about the chicken nugget or just, the crying. They get overtired and they're screaming. And listen, I know that I can go psychotic with that many kids screaming at once. You don't know what triggered it, right? But I feel like the second he left, she might have got a little overwhelmed. And now it's just me here. And then bam.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
makes sense that maybe she was trying to wrangle the kids and bring them downstairs to watch TV, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you don't know what happened down in that basement with the kids. Did something happen that just made her feel overwhelmed, kids crying? And you guys know an 8-month-old that screams, y'all hear Lonnie screaming. That sound of a crying infant is can drive anybody anywhere in their mind. And then you got two kids you're trying to settle down at the same time. And then again, I feel like she had to have been in the basement because again, the weapon was a weapon of it was sitting right there. It was convenience. Otherwise, why would you even grab the bands? There's other easier ways to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Brain
I
case
don't,
analysis, my
I mean, you
email is
really can't even say easier ways because, I mean, when you're unaliving your child, I don't know that any of it would be easy. You know what I mean?
right. I don't mean I mean easy as in physically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or why if she was running up and down the stairs to bring kids down, why didn't she bring a knife with her?
Yeah.
That's a whole lot easier, when it comes to physically. It
Yeah.
gets the job done quicker,
Yeah.
right?
You're right.
I mean, if she planned this, why didn't she plan a quicker way to do it? If it was all planned.
Hey, Frank, what are you making a summary of? I'm nosy. Yeah. And she probably did use the first thing she saw.
Yeah, and that's just because it was there, which makes sense to me,
Yeah.
right? Then you figure after she kills them, she goes upstairs to the kitchen, she grabs the knife, she answers the phone call from Patrick, the timing fits, right? She
Oh,
goes, she gets
absolutely.
the meds, she walks up the stairs, again, the timing fits, and crushes the pills, takes them, slices her wrists, slice her arms. And again, people are like, oh, but she hesitated. Yeah, because it hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden went out the window. I mean, I can see it happening. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Not that it makes sense, but it makes sense to me that somebody in a severe mental um
They still feel pain.
fog could make, you know what I mean, could do something like that.
Right.
As I said, I do more the DSM. I do. Don't let the 75 followers I have fool you because I'm just getting started.
Oh,
Oh
that's
no.
cool.
Yeah. You do psychological analysis? That's interesting. See,
Oh,
I
and
don't
if,
I don't have that kind of experience. I've worked with psychiatric patients and you know what I mean? I understand again, I only understand these mental illnesses and schizophrenia or psychosis because I didn't understand it for so long that it took a lot of very intelligent people to sit and explain it to me because I just couldn't understand how somebody can think like that. So I don't know. And then we got Dr. Greg, another expert tomorrow. It just fits. And again, everyone's like, why would Patrick leave her? Patrick should be held responsible. Patrick should be arrested and he should be, but number one, you can't hold Patrick responsible for knowing something he shouldn't know or wouldn't know, right? They never warned him that this could happen. So why would he be held responsible? And number two, if he had stayed home and she was triggered by something, he just might be dead.
I thought about that too. Like, if he would have showed up in the middle of it, would he have been a victim too?
I'm sure that voice wouldn't allowed him to. I see it. Okay. I'll check it in a few minutes. I'm sure that voice would have had him go too,
Right.
right? Like, or he would have tried to stop her and she would have not, she couldn't. She had to go through with it. So he'd have been dead.
Yeah. That's wild.
And again, I don't understand why it's always the God aspect. Why there's always that spiritual something in some of these things. But I told you guys about my patient, right? The one, well, he was schizophrenic, the one who killed his son and injured his wife because,
No.
so this is years ago. I was working in a doctor's office. It was a primary care doctor. And we used to have this cute little couple come in with their 3-year-old son. All three of them saw him. He was a family practitioner. And I mean, we got to know them really well. They were those kind that would be like, hey, we dropped you off some bagels on the way here. Those really nice people. The husband had schizophrenia and was on medications. They had an issue where they had some money problems and lost insurance. And so they had to pay for his medication. And, he was having trouble. The doctor was trying to get him coupons and trying to call, whoever that it is that they call, right? And so eventually, at some point, without telling anybody, he stopped the medication because he thought he was saving money. I've been fine. And one night, his wife comes down the stairs, and he almost decapitated his 3-year-old
Mm.
because the voices, God told him that he had to kill Satan was the child.
Wow.
And so he was saving everybody by killing Satan and then injured the wife because the wife was trying to protect the baby and ended up, I mean, the wife is still alive, but ended up, hurting the wife. And ultimately, after he was treated in the hospital and he came to and he was sitting, y'all can look it up, it's in Virginia. The guy was like, he wanted to die. He didn't want to, like, he was just like, I want to die. I can't live. He couldn't believe it was the worst thing when he realized what he did.
Wow.
He just couldn't live with it. The wife, oh my gosh, he was the nicest. You never saw it coming. And he was just like, I don't want to, I don't want to live. Give me the death penalty. He was begging for it. Like he just had no reason to live anymore. Like him and his son were just the cutest little like besties. And yeah, he was done after that. And I remember the doctor telling me about it, and like the doctor was crying. Like, and the doctor was a man. And yeah, he was just like the guy was devastated.
Well, think about it. It's hard enough when you lose a child to whatever took their life to know that you took their life. I couldn't imagine that.
Oh
Male
no.
or female.
Oh yeah. I have heard of shaken baby syndrome.
I've heard of that too, yeah.
And honestly, even that, my husband says to me to this day, so I have a lot of kids, but my youngest is the only one between me and my husband. And when she was born, it was his first kid. Like I had kids. So I had the experience, but he never did with a newborn. And so I remember he used to sit there and he was trying so hard to be like, it was just his baby. And I remember her screaming, and I could see it in my husband's face. He couldn't take her screaming. He would get really nervous. I don't know what's wrong with her. Like, make her stop. What's wrong with her? Fix her. Something's wrong. And he would be really panicking. And one day I was upstairs taking a shower, and I just happened to come downstairs to grab something before I went in. And she was screaming, and my husband just looked like he didn't know what to do. It was like he was like getting really huffy and puffy. And he's just like, I don't know why she's screaming. And he's talking to nobody, right? He's like, I don't know why she's screaming. And I looked at my husband dead in the eye and I said, the best thing you can do is go outside. Babies don't die from crying in the crib. Go outside, go have a cigarette, go walk around the cul-de-sac, give yourself a few minutes and then come back. Nothing is going to happen to her. You walk out on her while she's screaming. That is safer for both of you. And to this day, he still brings that up and goes, if you didn't tell me that, I would have thought I would never have done that because I would have thought I was being a bad dad. He goes, but I didn't realize how many times I was going to need you saying that to me, that it's okay to just take a break. You know what I mean? And just, you know, and he still brings that up to me because he's like, I never, you don't want to hurt your kid, but he's like, I was so like frustrated and didn't know what to do that I was getting like really angry, and not at the baby, just at the idea that I didn't know what to do to fix it. And yeah, so my husband still brings that up to me.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Bizarre.
But again, I mean, shaken, is that always criminally responsible? You're doing it on purpose? You know what I mean? Like sometimes that's done just in like a moment of like, just, desperation. Like you're not realizing what you're doing.
Right. Um, you see a lot of cases like that though. Did you see the big creator on TikTok? He shows cars and that. And I can't remember how big his following is, but he had a girlfriend and she hadn't dated him but a couple of months, but she felt safe leaving her 2-year-old daughter for like 30 minutes while the sister picked her up. And this was like a a daily thing. And the other night he came in, he fell asleep, and she seen his phone laying there, and something told her, to go through the phone. And she said, I'd never thought about going through his phone, never crossed my mind, but it was such an overwhelming feeling that I needed to do that. And she picked it up. She didn't know the password, and she just hit 0000, and it opened the phone. And the first video that popped up was him molesting her 2-year-old or her 2-month-old.
See that at that point, I can see myself in jail. Like I would totally like, no, I'm not insane. I don't know what I am, but I'm
Yeah.
totally criminally responsible at that time. I totally know what's going to happen when I kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm ready. I look good in orange, right? Silver's
Right.
my medal, my choice medal. Like,
I mean, the world's getting sick, and then we have to worry about our grandkids being on any app because we really don't know who these people are.
yeah. And look at Nikki in the chat thinking she can go out and have bingo. Like she's allowed to have a life. You're just gonna go out and live a life without us? Have your own life? What kind of nonsense is that?
Are you really at bingo or are you at the casino? Hey, find out what the poll is for us, Nikki.
I know.
Nikki,
Not us
we need
hunting
the
Nikki
poll.
down for the poll.
Bingo.
All right, listen, I got one for you. Was the dog's name Bingo or was it the farmer who was named Bingo?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, sing the song.
And Farmer was his name. Oh, hold on. What questions you asked me?
Was in the song Bingo, Bingo, was it the farmer's name Bingo or was it the dog's name was Bingo?
Hold on, I gotta sing it to
The
myself.
dogs.
Are you sure about that?
Ivory, do you know the answer?
Well, I mean, I can only assume it's the farmer because I mean there was a farmer,
No, it goes, there was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name.
right. There was a farmer, who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. So Bingo referring to the farmer who had the dog.
No,
Yes.
no.
Farmer who is Bingo, not the dog. It is referring to the farmer who had a dog, and his name was Bingo.
I'm Googling
Well,
it.
you know what? My grandparents had a dog named Bingo, so the dog's name was Bingo.
Bingo was the name of the farmer's dog.
Bingo was the name of the farmer.
Yep.
Bingo
Huh.
was the farmer. Yes.
Bingo was the name of the farmer's dog, not the farmer.
How does that make sense in this sentence? There was a farmer, right, who had a dog is referring to the farmer, right? The farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. His is referring to the farmer, technically not the dog.
Well, I got one for you. Everybody listening?
Yes.
Why was Dolly Parton's feet so small?
I don't know, but she's dead, so I hope
Something
that's a
about her
really funny
boobs.
answer.
Because things don't grow in the shade.
That's so
Dolly
funny.
Parton,
So,
I love. She has always been my favorite singer in the entire world.
When they call out B69, you have to yell out dinner for two. You're so funny, Tess.
Ooh, hung jury 25, guilty 24, NCR 48.
Not criminally responsible. That that's back up
Yep.
because the guy lied today and everybody saw it.
yeah, I want to hear a dirty joke, Nikki.
You want to hear a dirty joke?
No, you got the jokes. I thought you had like my grandpa Bob type jokes, like
Listen,
I'm on the pot.
Grandpa Bob
Go to
would
the
get
bathroom.
banned from
Hi, on the pot.
YouTube.
Haha. What?
Would Grandpa Bob get us banned from YouTube?
No. No,
Doesn't
he would
Ryan
know
have
when
Bob?
it. I've never heard him cuss until he got dementia and he called the neighbor an asshole. Never in my life. Like they're like the corniest jokes. Like the worst one was when he goes, when you go to the bathroom and you're on the pot, and I go, yeah, and he goes, or something like, and what if you went to the bathroom and you stood on the pot? And I go, yeah, and he goes, you'd be high on pot. Ha ha ha.
That's so funny.
Did you see what Nikki wrote? She said, a white horse fell in a mud poodle. Puddle.
I can't. That's so funny.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
He said, "Do you want to hear a dirty joke?"
Okay, I get it now.
Oh, now I get it.
That would be a Grandpa Bob joke.
Wait, the hung jury went up? Well, I'm not going to lie, though. I think it's possible that the jury can get hung now with these expert witnesses testifying and they're confusing the hell out of them.
I think it's going to depend on which ones they pick.
Good night, Frank Case.
Now, how do they pick what 12?
Thank you.
Does anybody know?
How do they pick what?
How do they pick the 12?
The 12 what? Jurors?
Yeah,
They pick 18, right?
right.
They pick a bunch of people and they sit them there and they ask them a whole bunch of questions.
Well, yeah, but they did that for the 18. Now, what do they do to pick the 12? The same thing?
They have the 12 picked. So what they do is they have 18. They have 12 regular jurors, and then they have 6 aside in case something happens to the first 12. So all 18 get to hear. The first 12 that were picked to be original jurors, they're the ones that are going to deliberate unless something happens to one of them and they have to be replaced. Otherwise, the other 6 do not go into deliberations. Only the 12 do.
Okay, because
They're
I was
just the
so
backup.
confused on that.
Do you know what I think every single kid should have to watch? 12 Angry Men, the movie. It's in black and white.
I've never seen it.
It's about 12 jurors trying to come up with a verdict.
Really? Is that what that movie's about? I never knew that.
Yeah. We watched it in civics. It's called 12 Angry Men.
I never knew that. I'm more of a Shawshank Redemption kind of person.
I love Shawshank.
I do too.
Loved it.
Like to think that he made it.
Yeah, see, I'm that kind of movie person.
I like the Green Mile too.
I love that one too.
Oh, that was one of my faves.
Mm-hmm. Tonight I'm gonna make Chris watch Still Magnolias. I live over by there now, and so I think that's my next stop is where they filmed it. But did you know in the house that they filmed the Dolly Parton's house that there was a murder there? Some guy killed his kid, so it's yeah.
I did not know that.
Man.
Oh, I got one for you. Why did the melon jump in the lake?
Why did who jump in the lake?
Why did the melon jump into the lake?
Yeah, I got nothing.
It wanted to be a watermelon.
Are you reading these off of the those popsicles that have the jokes on them?
No, that one just popped in my head. One of my grandkids had told me that a while back. I was trying to think of one they told me the other
That's
day.
so
I
funny.
laughed so hard I about wet myself.
You guys, I sat on a Go-Gurt that was open.
Gross.
It went all over my pants.
I found one in between my couch cushions. Yeah, they are. They're randomly picked, Prudy.
Okay, I had my doctor guy come in. He's actually a surgeon, um, like a spine surgeon. Uh, don't don't laugh. Something was trying to pick up on my phone, and I asked him. I said, "What's the weirdest thing you ever found in somebody during surgery?" And just I thought he might have to wait a minute to tell me, and he said he had done surgery on a guy. He was 50 years old, and he had to go back and redo surgery because he was shoving like safety pins and bobby pins and stuff in his wound.
I've actually seen people do that. Not necessarily like safety pins and stuff, but shove stuff in their wounds.
Yeah, I said, well, was the guy from prison? He said, no. So I thought, well, maybe he's trying to sneak it in, but
I've
he
seen
said,
people shove things in places you don't even want to know.
oh, when I worked in a mental institution, um, there was a girl, that's where she stored her cheeseburgers.
Yeah. On that note, you guys want to go watch The Last Greg guy?
What's the what? Yeah,
All right. Let me
I
see if I
do.
let me get his Greg because you just said someone stored cheeseburgers up their hoo ha.
Exactly.
And so that's enough of that talk. I'll never look at a cheeseburger. That's all I got left, man.
What was Reddington meaning about tips with Safoff? I don't know. I didn't get to watch.
Wait, what do you mean tips?
Nikki asked in the comments, she said, what was Reddington meaning about tips with Safoff today?
I don't know.
I don't either.
All right, I gotta get on my. Hold on, let me connect. I gotta connect to StreamYard through my computer.
Cajun, I saw a TikTok the other day, you know, those tail combs that we use for the foils. A kid was using it on his hair and he dropped it and he went to catch it with his thighs and it actually stabbed into his leg and he had to go to the ER and have it removed. So don't catch metal combs with your thighs.
In order for me to play it, I think in order for me to get to I might have to come down here and start again because, oh, no, I don't. I lied.
Has anybody watched any TikToks or anything? Like what people in TikTok are saying about today?
All right, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I just moved from my phone to a computer and did not get disconnected. Check that out.
Damn, you're good.
I
You gonna teach
know.
me, right?
Sure am. And once I realized how I did that. All right, let me go.
My grandson even said, "Nana, you got a lot to learn."
Oh, you'll learn it when you make all the mistakes. That's what I did.
Took me
And you know
30
what?
minutes to
Honestly,
figure out how to turn the computer off last night.
that's so funny. Uh-oh, my husband's getting it somewhere. All right, today's day 20, right?
Yeah, and guys, will you go follow me if you haven't followed me yet? And follow Sam if you haven't followed Sam yet. And you must be following Ivory since you're already in here. Please, please. Oh yeah, they'll still believe that Patrick did it. I'm kind of curious to see what happens after it's all said and done. They're going to end up with a case on them is what's going to happen.
Why?
They keep on. Ouch.
All right, here we go. Hold on.
And if you guys can, will you share this out? Like you can hit that share button and you can share it to like your Facebook or your friends. You can share it in messages where more people can come in and join. And make sure you hit the like button, please, and
Excuse me.
thank you.
Doctor, you were about to describe a hospital that you had previously worked at. Is that correct?
Oh, hold
Yes.
on. I got to go back a little bit. No, this is this guy. We finished with that guy. Hold on. We finished with this guy. Hey, Martha, we're about replaying the crazy part. Yes, Morbid Fairy, you do. Yes, Tess. Oh.
There is some trial scheduled in Brockton on Monday. When it was.
I missed all of it today, Tess.
Sure is accurate.
We're going to kind of go back through some of it, Martha, and catch some key points of it. That girl in the green dress is crazy, Cajun. Oh,
This court's now in session. Please be seated.
For the purpose of the record, we return back to the
crazy.
trial in the matter of Commonwealth versus Lindsay
I
Clancy.
think the
All
day of
parties
the
are present,
trial,
including
me,
the defendant
Ivory, and
and
Sam
including the
should wear
18
big
jurors.
bows in our hair to go live that night.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Commonwealth calls Dr. Gregory Satoff.
Good afternoon, sir. We'll start right here. Would you like
Can anybody hear me?
Good afternoon. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony and the evidence you shall give to the court, the majority, the matter now pending between the Commonwealth and the defendant, the file shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. You may have a seat.
Watch your step, please.
Good afternoon, Doctor. Hi. Attorney Sprague?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, first name is Gregory. Gregory, last name Saathoff, Saathoff.
And can you describe for us your educational background?
Yes, I received my undergraduate degree at the University of Notre Dame, and then my medical degree, my MD, at the University of Missouri, and then my residency in psychiatry at the University of Virginia.
And can you describe for us your occupation?
Yes, I'm a professor of emergency medicine and public health sciences at the University of Virginia. I also see patients in the Virginia Department of Corrections, where I also teach students. And I also serve as the senior psychiatrist for the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit in Quantico.
And how long have you been the senior psychiatrist for the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, or BAU?
Since 1996.
And are there other psychiatrists who contract with the FBI for that department?
Well, certainly for the FBI writ large, there are psychiatrists who work with them. But as for the Behavioral Analysis Unit at Quantico, we sometimes have Walter Reed fellows who are psychiatrists. But other than that, I am the psychiatrist for the Behavioral Analysis Unit.
And what does that entail?
It entails working with the behavioral analysis units on crimes and concerns, whether it is with children. I'm occasionally asked to consult with the behavioral analysis unit relating to children, crimes against children, also crimes against adults, and also national security issues, and in particular issues relating to threat assessment.
And are you, or do you consider yourself a forensic psychologist?
Psychiatrist, yes.
Sorry, I apologize. And what is the role of a forensic psychiatrist?
Well, a forensic psychiatrist examines issues with mental illness, and it's really the interface of mental illness and the law. Sometimes that can involve criminality. Most often, forensic psychiatrists are engaged in assessing mental status at the time of an offense or competency, but also forensic psychiatrists can consult institutions or also treat patients within facilities such as jails and prisons.
So that work that you do as a forensic psychiatrist, is that in addition to working with the behavioral analysis unit at the FBI and working at UVA and in teaching, and your work in the Bureau of Prisons?
Yes.
And in terms of your work as a forensic psychiatrist, have you done evaluations and testified on behalf of both prosecution and defense as a forensic psychiatrist?
Yes.
Approximately how many times have you testified in courts as a forensic psychiatrist?
maybe 40 to 45 times, something like that.
And are you board certified in forensic psychiatry?
No.
And why not?
Well, when I finished my residency, I was interested in public psychiatry. And so I also was in the military. And so military psychiatry and public psychiatry in a teaching hospital was very important to me. As time went on, I was consulted by the FBI. They wanted to meet with me based upon a paper that I had published. And by the time I was more heavily involved in forensic psychiatry and particular assessment of individuals, by that point, the way to be board certified within forensic psychiatry would require a one-year fellowship. And at that point in my life, I just did not have the time to be able to devote to a one-year fellowship in addition to the other things that I was doing.
He was too busy.
So instead of the 1-year fellowship, did you have more on-the-job training as a forensic psychiatrist?
Yes.
And as a forensic psychiatrist, have you evaluated subjects for things like competency and criminal responsibility?
Yes, I have. And let me just say also, in addition to on-the-job experience, it's important to get teaching and training. And so I've taken advantage of courses within the Institute for Law, Psychiatry, and Public Policy at the University of Virginia, and other opportunities as well in terms of even taking a board review course that was very helpful and quite comprehensive.
So you've had other training other than the fellowship in order to be a forensic psychiatrist?
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit about the work that you've done with inmates?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you talk a little bit about the work that you've done for the Bureau of Prisons with inmates?
Yes. Well, specifically, most of my work has been with the Virginia Department of Corrections rather than the Bureau of Prisons. And since 1992, I guess, maybe 34 years, I have assessed and treated patients within the prison system, both men and women at men and women's facilities. And in that time, I have brought medical students and residents and fellows and taught them. So over the course of my career thus far, I've brought more than 2,500 medical students and residents into the prison system to learn about psychiatry and significant mental illness.
And in the course of your evaluating and treating female inmates, did you have the opportunity to evaluate and treat female inmates who had killed their children?
Yes.
And how often was that would occur, that you would treat that type of patient?
Well, in consulting to a maximum security women's prison, I would say 5 to 7 women who had killed their children.
And in terms of your interactions with them, you said that you evaluated them. Did that involve diagnosing them?
Correct.
And then what did the treatment involve?
Treatment involved working with a team within the system. Prisons have psychologists and social workers and those who are responsible for working with patient inmates. Medication treatment is very important, but also there are important therapeutic aspects. For a number of years, I ran a group in prison, as I felt that was important, and my students felt that was important as well.
And in terms of the group you ran, what type of group was that?
It was a therapy group in which individuals were brought together, all who were diagnosed with a significant mental illness, and being able to speak about their experience, and also how to deal with issues or how they dealt with issues over and above the medications that they were receiving.
I don't mean to interrupt, guys, but for those of you who are just coming in here who did not watch this guy this morning, what do you guys think of him? Tell me in the chat. Does he come off as credible to you? Like, I know he's creepy. I saw the comments, his looks, but with him speaking, does he come off as credible? Because to me in the beginning, he came off a little bit like he sounded a little confident. So I'm just curious what everybody thinks, but I mean, it gets wild, but I'm just curious to see what everybody thinks
He
about how he's
strikes
coming
me
off.
as a little weird and doesn't have a clue what he's talking about.
Okay. I'm just curious. Here we go. Let's keep watching.
And in your experience in the Department of Correction at the Bureau of Prisons, treating these patients, and also in your experience working at the FBI, did you encounter individuals who suffered from psychosis?
Yes, very much so.
And could you estimate how many patients you have treated who suffered from psychosis?
I'm going to object at this point.
No, overall.
Thousands. I spent 15 years running an inpatient admissions unit in a teaching state hospital. And so.
First side, but sure.
Virginia, near Charlottesville, Virginia, where the University of Virginia is. It was a teaching hospital with medical students and residents, and was a facility that dealt with some of the most severely mentally ill individuals who would have been committed to the hospital.
And how long were you at that hospital in that role?
15 years.
And during that time frame, is that when you saw the thousands of patients that you treated with psychosis?
I saw them there, yes, but also within the prison system. And of course, during training, during my residency.
Have you ever written any articles about postpartum psychosis?
Yes.
And when was that?
We published an article in 1987 relating to 2 cases of postpartum psychosis that I actually saw when I was an intern. One was my patient and one was one that I consulted on.
And that article that you wrote, was that entitled Postpartum Psychosis Induced by Bromocriptine?
Yes.
What was bromocriptine?
So bromocriptine at that time was a medication that was used to inhibit or to stop lactation. Some women would, after birth, make a decision for whatever reason that they were not able to breastfeed. And so in those days, this medication, bromocriptine, was used to inhibit lactation.
And in your treatment of one patient and what you learned of the second patient, did you come to a conclusion that bromocriptine was having some effect of inducing postpartum psychosis?
Yes.
And is that what you wrote the article about?
Yes.
And eventually, after you wrote this article, were there other studies that cited to your article?
Yes. And let me just emphasize, I was one of 5 authors of that article.
And eventually, was bromocriptine, did people stop using that to stop lactation in women?
Yes, the FDA took it off the market, I believe, in 1994 or 1995. not just for the reason of postpartum psychosis, but also for other problems, cardiac problems and the rest that bromocriptine sometimes causes in people.
And to your knowledge, was your article with the other co-authors the first article that brought to scientific attention this issue with bromocriptine and postpartum psychosis?
I'm sorry, can you ask that question again?
Sure. To your knowledge, was this article that you wrote with others the first article that brought to scientific attention the possible link between bromocriptine and postpartum psychosis?
That's my understanding. There were a few letters to journals commenting about bromocriptine and a connection, but I think the first article that was written was ours that we wrote about the two women who suffered postpartum psychosis.
Now, you've mentioned your experience in diagnosing and treating psychosis. What is psychosis?
Well, psychosis is...
Here we go.
It can take a number of forms. I think we most often think about people who are psychotic as having hallucinations. And so we call those perceptual disturbances. That it's oftentimes auditory hallucinations, so people hearing voices or sounds, but they also can be other types of hallucinations as well, not as common in psychosis, such as visual hallucinations, or even what we call tactile hallucinations, where the sense of touch is affected, or olfactory hallucinations. Most commonly, it is auditory hallucinations, though, if we're talking about those perceptual disturbances. Now, there are other areas that psychosis can show itself. Delusions are fixed false beliefs. They can be bizarre or non-bizarre. And sometimes people who have auditory hallucinations also have delusions. Sometimes you can have psychosis or someone can be psychotic with just a delusion and no
Give me the mic for this.
No perceptual disturbance, no type of hallucination. And the third area is with regard to thought and how people communicate. So in that part of psychosis, when it demonstrates itself, is that people have a great difficulty communicating with even speech disorganization. They may engage in what we call neologisms, or making up words that have a specific meaning for them, but no one else. And the way that thought is translated either in writing or in speech, oftentimes people who are psychotic and also have a difficult time with stringing their words together. So what we would call looseness of associations. So really,
He sounds like he's describing himself.
That psychosis can show itself, maybe in all three:
That's
the perceptual
exactly what I was
disturbances,
thinking.
the delusions, but also the thought and related to thought and communication. But it's also possible to be psychotic and have just one of those three elements.
And is psychosis its own mental illness or a symptom of mental illness?
Psychosis is a symptom.
And why is it a symptom of mental illness and not its own defined mental illness?
Well, because there are many different possible causes of psychosis. Someone who has a serious medical problem, for example, can actually become psychotic. a brain tumor is one example in which those symptoms of psychosis show themselves. But there are other ways that people can experience psychosis. Some can be secondary to, say, drug abuse. There's certain drugs like cocaine or amphetamines or bath salts that can cause people to have
Not
the
bath
kind of
salts.
perceptual disturbances or delusions or problems with communicating, that I talked about. So really, I think it's just important to know that that it is not a cause. It represents a significant finding or presentation. Schizophrenia is one diagnosis where we will see psychosis in a number of forms, but also someone who has a serious mood disorder, or schizoaffective disorder, or a brief psychosis. So there are many different roads that can lead to psychosis. And so it's important to find out what's originating, because that's how we make the best decisions about how to treat any psychotic symptoms that we're seeing.
And doctor, the signs and symptoms of psychosis that are present, is that dependent on the underlying cause, the mental illness or whatever is causing the psychosis?
Yes. When you say dependent, it just is clearly something that is a result of or a manifestation of the illness. For example, there are many different things that can
He's
cause a
glitching,
fever,
guys.
right?
He's glitching.
And so while a fever is a symptom, it's a presentation that's very significant and can be very significant. What we need to do in medicine and psychiatry is find out, well, what is the cause? Because that is what's going to lead to the most appropriate treatment.
Right?
So for example, an analogy would be a bacterial infection can cause a fever. Bipolar disorder can cause psychosis.
Correct.
Now, you mentioned earlier serious mental illness. What is considered to be a serious mental illness?
Well, serious mental illnesses affect a small portion of the population, a smaller portion, maybe 4%.
That's not the question. What is
have
it?
Schizophrenia have a serious mental illness. People who have bipolar 1, which is manic depressive illness, that is a serious mental illness. Schizoaffective disorder is also a serious mental illness. So while many people can have symptoms of mental illness and can benefit from treatment, either psychotherapy or medication or some kind of combination, there are some that are just really, really profound. And that's a much smaller percentage.
And so serious mental illness, is that sometimes shortened to SMI?
Yes.
Now, is there something called any mental illness, AMI?
Yes.
And what would be in that category of any mental illness?
I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say any mental illness.
Certainly adjustment disorders or anxiety disorders, mild depression, depression without psychotic features, for example, PTSD, which can have significant symptoms, is also something that would go under the category of any mental illness.
Now, were you asked to do a forensic evaluation of Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
And you were asked to do that by the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, correct?
Correct.
And did you receive direct payment from the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office for your evaluation?
No.
How did that payment plan, how did that work between the DA's office and your services?
So I do my work in testimony and the like through the University of Virginia. So my department is the recipient of any funds that come from the work that I do. I get a salary from the university that is not dependent on the number of cases that I am involved with or whatever. So I don't receive payment myself. I see it as part of my job as a professor.
And in terms of your work with the university, does the university have any impact or influence on what your evaluation is or what your conclusions are?
No, not at all.
For your review of Lindsay Clancy, what types of records and other materials did you review?
Well, they were extensive. They involved significant medical records, not just the psychiatric records, outpatient and inpatient, but also medical records. Certainly the hospital records from McLean, the hospital records from Tewksbury, but also emergency department visits at South Shore and Mass General Hospital. So a significant body of medical and mental health records, both inpatient and outpatient. But in addition, there was a substantial amount of grand jury materials that I reviewed, and videos. For example, videos not only of interviews of individuals, but also in January when the Clancy family went to the museum, or they went to the Cape Codder water park, was able to review those kinds of videos as well. I also received the reports from both the government, but also the defense. And so those experts who were retained, I had an opportunity to review those. I mean, the list of materials is very significant. CVS records, for
The
example, pharmacy
noise.
records.
What is it making noises for?
And law enforcement records, for example, the police reports and things like that from that day, 24 January 2023, in which the event occurred.
And Doctor, is it typical for you to have such a breadth of records and information, both pre-killing and post-killing, when you do a forensic evaluation?
No, I wouldn't say that's typical. Certainly for any evaluation, it's important to try and obtain as much information as possible. But in this case, I think the amount of information was truly significant.
And you also interviewed the defendant, correct?
Yes, I did.
And how many times did you interview her, and for how long?
I interviewed Ms. Clancy on 2 occasions. One was on the 29th of May of this year, and the other was the 4th of June. I believe on the 29th of May, I interviewed her for approximately 6.5 hours. And then the second time in June 4th, it was about 5 hours.
And were those interviews in person or on Zoom?
They were by way of Zoom.
And why were they by way of Zoom?
For personal reasons, I was unable to travel at that time. And so I requested the ability to have an interview by way of a Zoom video platform. And that was approved.
And did you find that doing the interviews by Zoom inhibited your ability to evaluate Ms. Clancy in any way?
Well, I think there are always limitations when one is not physically present, when one is seeing someone in a video setting. Sometimes it takes longer to be able to get information and establish rapport. Other limitations are just
Sounds like a
having an
door crackling
opportunity
open.
to see the
Someone get his
environment
throat some
that the
WD-40.
individual is in. I have done evaluations in the past using a Zoom format. There are certainly advantages to being in person.
Did you, in your interviews with Ms. Clancy, have any difficulties having her answer questions or establishing a rapport with her?
No, she was very pleasant, very
That's all I'm hearing.
responsive to questions that I asked on both occasions.
Were there any benefits to doing the interviews on Zoom?
Well, one benefit that one doesn't always have with an in-person evaluation is that a platform like this can also save the entire interview, and both video of the interviewer, myself, but also Ms. Clancy. So if someone wants to really understand that the interview and how it went, you not only have a transcript, but you have a video that really demonstrates the course of the interview, how it went. And that can be very helpful. That can be more helpful than if, as a clinician or as an assessor, I am writing notes. Because when you're writing notes, sometimes it's harder to be able to attend to the individual. So certainly being able to have a transcript of the interview is helpful, and I think it makes the process more transparent as well, which I think is a positive.
As part of your evaluation in this case, did you also interview what's known as collaterals or other people who knew the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Who did you interview?
Well, I interviewed Patrick Clancy, also on a
He's
Zoom
glitching.
platform.
Who's he talking to up there?
And after you had reviewed all of the records that were provided to you and the criminal file and all the evidence that was provided to you and conducted these interviews, both with Ms. Clancy and Patrick Clancy, were you able to conduct an analysis of all of that material in order to come to your eventual conclusions?
Yes.
And if we could just go through your analysis of this case, and if we could start with, I think what you called in your report, Ms. Clancy's characterization of the command auditory hallucinations.
Yes. So Ms. Clancy stated to me and some other evaluators.
Hold on, Ivory. Ivory, pause that a minute. Ivory. Is he seeing things up there?
That's what I was saying. It's like, who's he talking to? He's seeing visions of Mother Mary. What are you doing?
like, is he getting signs?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is there something scrolling on the ceiling? I don't know what he's seeing, but he's like he's having a stroke.
I keep seeing him look up there, and I'm like, what the hell is he looking at?
Wait, keep watching, because you're going to see one moment where he says something and he totally catches his lie, and then he like panics and he just stands there and goes for like the most awkward 45 seconds, okay?
Oh my God. All right.
It's just, it gets even more crazy, but that's what I'm talking about. He's like, and it's like, you can't, and he's doing all that. And you're like, what the fuck?
I thought his dentures might be slipping.
When you said that, I about died because that's what it sounds like. It's like, what are you doing?
Get the man something to drink.
Hallucination,
Right?
that of an external voice, something coming from outside of her head, occurred when she was standing at the refrigerator. She said that she was in the process of making her children their dinner when she received a call from Patrick Clancy, returned the call, and then as soon as she finished the call with Patrick Clancy, she said that is when she heard the voice. This is your last chance. You have to kill your kids and then kill yourself. And so that was what she told a number of us. There are also other accounts that she made to individuals that were quite a bit different. To Dr. Spinelli, for example, she said that the voice happened at 5:10 or 5:15 p.m. as soon as Patrick Clancy left on his errands. And that the voice, she described the voice to Dr. Spinelli as increasing in
rehearsed?
intensity, but saying, this is your last chance. You have to kill your kids before you kill yourself. But also that
that's
it
actually
was,
true, Kelsey. It is.
That her children would suffer.
Like, what's with the grunt?
If she did not
grunting.
do that.
What are we grunting for?
When I asked her about the voice that she heard, again, she said that it started really right after the telephone call at 5:34 with her husband, Patrick.
It's like the info's being probed in.
She said it was a man's voice. It was very clear. It was external. In other words, it came from outside of her head.
He's making sure that man
That it
ain't
was
looking
constant.
at him.
So this phrase, this is your last chance. You have to kill your kids and then kill yourself, was something that was repeated over and over and over and over again during that period that she strangled her children. And then just as soon as it had started, it stopped at when she had finished killing the children, strangling the children.
Doctor, was there anything about what she reported to you about the voice that was significant to you in your evaluation? And if so, why?
Can you pause that a second, Ivory, before he answers that?
We have plenty of time before the man answers because he's just going to stand there and go,
How could he say that it stopped? That it stopped after she killed the kids because she kept going with herself.
yeah, he needs to reboot.
I'm just curious because if it stopped after she did that, she would have went and untied him.
Wait. Yeah, but wait, it gets even more wild. Now is where it's coming up where he catches himself in a lie. Like, but what is he looking at? Like, what apparitions? Are you seeing apparitions? Like,
Yeah,
what are you looking at?
He's praying that he doesn't get struck by lightning for lying.
That's exactly. I just swore in a Bible. Oh, that's exactly what's happening because, again, this is where the lying comes full force, and you can tell because he starts getting more quiet and more.
Well, like Kelsey said, let
thinking
him
of his
reboot.
answer.
Kelsey said, let him reboot. Give him a second.
And that's exactly what happens. He glitches. He needs a reboot. Like, you need to just unplug it and start all over again because it gets, watch, he gets wild.
All right, let's do it.
Well, what was significant to me is that she had not spoken about hearing voices before that in any of the mental health professionals, the psychiatrists, the nurse practitioners, the physicians and staff in the emergency departments or at McLean. And so this was the first time that she reported that was documented, but also that she experienced an auditory hallucination, according to what she told me. So that was unusual. And then also, what was very unusual was the fact that the voice stopped with the death of, or the strangling of her youngest son, Callan, and that she.
Wait. I think I'm gonna piss my pants. Okay, wait, I can't breathe. Oh, I can't breathe. Okay, wait, did you just watch?
It's a good thing I did not watch this at work.
Fuck no, they didn't pay him. What the hell? Why would they?
Paying for what? Go count those dots on that damn ceiling.
Oh, but like this is where he knows he caught himself in a lie. Like he's just like totally stuck. Like, oh shit, what do I do? And then he just stops in real time, like he's hallucinating, like he's under a delusion. Like I don't know what to do right now, but maybe if I just sit here with my mouth open and look really shocked, nobody will notice and they'll all go away.
Yeah, nobody's gonna notice. Nobody's gonna notice.
I've got to rewind this. You guys are gonna watch this pause. It's wild.
Let's do it. Nobody will know.
I can't. I'm crying, guys. Oh.
Maybe
when
his
I
tie
asked
is
her
too long.
about the voice that she heard, again, she said that it started really right after the telephone call at 5:34 with her husband, Patrick. And she said it was a man's voice. It was very clear. It was external. In other words, it came from outside of her head. That it was constant.
Hold on,
So
outside of her head?
This is your last chance. You have to kill your kids and then kill yourself. Was something that was repeated over and over and over and over again during that period that she strangled her children. And then just as soon as it had started, it stopped at when she had finished killing the children, strangling the children.
Doctor, was there anything about what she reported to you about the voice that was significant to you in your evaluation? And if so, why?
Well, what was significant to me is that she had not spoken.
Why was that such a hard question? Why was it so hard?
I'm laughing so hard I did not even hear her question.
I mean, I just don't understand how it was a simple question. It wasn't, can you split atoms in your kitchen sink? Like, we're not asking you to like, just.
About hearing voices before that in any of the.
He looks like he's hearing
mental
voices.
Health professionals, the psychiatrists, the nurse practitioners, the physicians and staff in the emergency departments or at McLean. And so this was the first time that she reported that was documented, but also that she experienced an auditory hallucination, according to what she told me. So that was unusual. And then also, what was very unusual was the fact that the voice stopped with the death of, or the strangling of her youngest son, Callan, and that
Fucking spit it out.
This
she
is
went
where he caught
upstairs
himself lying.
and then proceeded to.
That was a lie. He just lied.
Anything about
Hold on. He just lied and he caught himself lying. Like either that or he's got someone talking in his ear and it's breaking up, right? Like, because he's like
If it
he
is,
just caught
it's
himself
contagious.
lying. Like,
he's
are you
breaking up.
stroking out? Like, watch him. You know he's lying. Watch his face.
what
He's
she
like,
reported
oh shit,
to
I'm
you
caught.
about the voice that was significant to you in your
He knows
evaluation,
he's
and if
caught
so,
here.
why?
Well, what was significant to me is that she had not
I need a
spoken
diaper.
about hearing voices before that in any of the mental health professionals, the psychiatrists, the nurse practitioners, the physicians and staff in the emergency departments or at McLean. And so this was the first time that she reported that was documented, but also that she experienced an auditory hallucination, according to what she told me. So that was unusual. And then also, what was very unusual
Is you,
was the
dude.
fact that the voice stopped with
All that thinking for the word stopped?
death of, or the strangling of her youngest son, Callan.
Watch
And
this
that-
part. He knows he just lied. He knows he's lying. He just
She
caught
went
himself
upstairs
in a lie.
and then
He knows
proceeded
he's done.
to engage in behavior in an effort to kill herself, but that the voice had stopped as soon as she had strangled her last Callan, her youngest child.
If I could stop you there for a moment and ask you,
He
you said that
just,
it's
like, spazzed out.
unusual that this was the first time that she had heard this voice. Why is that unusual?
Let me look for the answer.
Well, she had certainly suffered with symptoms of mental illness, depression and anxiety, most specifically. Anxiety that she had reported to Dr. Tufts in mid-September. And then certainly the symptoms that later on included suicidal ideation and also
Wait, you yeah,
The sounds are killing me.
I don't have that kind of bladder control after 10 kids. Okay, wait.
It's like,
This,
let me
Wait,
find
first
the
of all,
answer.
this guy walked in with a stack of papers in his hand, okay? He walked in with a stack of papers
in his hand. But what is, ever hear your dog, like, you're petting your dog's ear and it's like, and they do that squealing bit? Why is he acting like a dog? The power of Christ compels you. Like, what's happening? Like, what are you doing? Oh, he just keeps like he's trying to get it out.
What she said were dark or
Get him a
intrusive thoughts
laxative.
to harm her children that she mentioned to her husband and her mother on, I think, 2 occasions.
And
He's being too specific.
Doctor,
When you're that specific, you're lying.
you also mentioned, Joel, that the voice stopped after Callan was killed. Why is that unusual?
Well, I've worked with, compared to other patients that I've treated who have had command auditory hallucinations.
I'm going to object to that. You want to say an
Yeah,
objection?
can we do something?
Kelsey, I see it.
Is that where the judge
Man.
stopped them?
Man, no, because he lies. He goes on and he starts lying. He finishes lying. We're not done with the lies. He's still got some lies left. Like, it's wild.
The sounds are killing me.
Oh, like, what are you doing? And he looked like the one where he looked like he caught himself in the lie. Like, it was like, kids, like, maybe if I just stand here and nobody sees me, like, they won't see me anymore.
Like nobody's going to
Like
know.
Yeah, like no one caught that. The whole stroke you had after you said it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to take his pulse. I'm looking for crooked smiles because I'm concerned about this man now. Where is he? Wait till the
An
lion comes.
experience in dealing with diagnosing and treating people who have psychosis, and what you've learned in all your training and schooling. Is it typical for someone in psychosis to hear a voice only one time, never before, never after?
No.
And again, based on your training experience, is it typical for someone in psychosis to hear a voice that's constant rather than intermittent?
No, that is not typical.
And what does it mean, the difference between a constant voice and an intermittent voice?
Well, an intermittent voice would come and go.
Like yours?
It wouldn't necessarily just keep playing over and over again as if it were on a tape, which Ms. Clancy told me that it was a voice. It's the same thing in the same tone, repeated over and over and over until she had strangled Callan.
And is it typical, based on your training and experience, for someone to hear command hallucinations and then for them to stop abruptly?
No. Committing the act is not curative of the voice. I've not ever seen that.
And Doctor, based on your training experience, someone in psychosis hearing a voice without accompanying delusions, is that typical?
That would be pretty rare. It's absolutely not typical.
And in talking to Ms. Clancy, did you speak to her about the concerns she had that if she had voiced thoughts of harming her children to providers, medical providers, that her children would have been taken away?
Yes.
And did you see that as a delusional thought?
No. Certainly with the requirements that healthcare professionals have to report any issues that could cause harm to children, for example, as required reporters, it's very rational for her to be concerned that by voicing her thoughts of harm could cause her children, certainly an assessment and a rapid assessment and a determination about how best to keep the children safe. So I didn't see that as irrational, but rather rational, just understanding the healthcare system.
And when reviewing the records and speaking to Ms. Clancy, did you see or notice any delusional statements or beliefs surrounding the hearing of that voice on the 24th?
No, I didn't.
Now, based on your training experience, is it typical for someone in psychosis to hear a voice and immediately act on it?
No.
And why is that?
I'd like to have a Dobia hearing at this point, Judge, on this. I'd like to test his qualifications to
I'm
this.
going to, same objection, same ruling.
So your opinion is it's not typical, correct?
Correct.
Now, you mentioned the defendant told you that when she received the call from her husband at 5:33 and called him back at 5:34, that she was getting dinner ready for her children, correct? And did she tell you what she was about to get out of the refrigerator?
Yes, she said she was at the refrigerator and that the refrigerator door was
Stacey,
open.
this is where the
and
big
that
lies
she was
start.
getting chicken nuggets out
I'm
of
here
the
for it.
refrigerator section for her children.
Now, in your collateral interview with Patrick Clancy, did you learn from him that when he left the residence, the children were already eating chicken nuggets on the couch?
Yes.
And did Patrick Clancy tell you that Dawson in particular was eating chicken nuggets and green beans out of a bowl on the couch?
Yes, that's what he told me.
And is it fair to say that there are crime scene photographs showing a bowl on the couch?
Yes.
And so is there any significance to you?
If the woman was planning on killing her kids, why even waste the time to make them chicken nuggets and green beans?
I mean, you're not lying.
Like, why would I even bother making them chicken nuggets and green beans if I'm going to choke them in 10 minutes?
Or put
Like-
plates out to fix the other plates when Patrick gets home.
Right? Like, what?
And the defendant telling you that when she got the phone call from Patrick, when he's at CVS, that she's making chicken nuggets versus Patrick and telling you that that had already happened and the crime scene photos showing you the.
Can I just say there are 3 kids? You know how many times I make one chicken nuggets, they're sitting down eating, and the other 2 come up and they're like, I want a chicken nugget too. I want my nuggies. And now I'm doing it twice.
Or I want
Like-
a grilled cheese.
Right? Like, so you mean to tell me that there's no way in hell that the 6-year-old got nuggies and now the 5-year-old don't want some? Like, come on.
bowl was already on the couch.
Well, it's inconsistent.
And are inconsistent.
Not in my household, it ain't.
Like that important
One
in your
gets nuggies,
evaluations
they're all
in
going to
cases
come
like
at separate
this?
times and want
Yes.
nuggies.
And how so?
Well, looking at someone's mental status at the time of an offense, it's important to understand what was going on in their mind at the time. And in this case, the widely divergent reports from Lindsay Clancy versus her husband Patrick raised questions about what she is telling me and how things are happening. So certainly that's a cause for significant concern. One of them is not correct in their statement.
And in terms of what you testified about earlier about the defendant giving you one version of what the voice told her and giving Dr. Spinelli a different version of what the voice told her, is there any significance in your evaluation to that?
Yes.
And what is that?
Well, again, it's markedly inconsistent. Ms. Clancy was very clear with me about the time that the voice started, and that it was constant for a period of time until the children were killed, and then it stopped. And according to Dr. Spinelli's report, Ms. Clancy stated that the voice started much, much earlier, actually, when Patrick Clancy left. And so we're talking about a significant difference in time. And those two just they don't match. So it's hard to, which version is the one that I should consider.
Now, further along in your analysis, you talk about Ms. Clancy's outward portrayals misleading her family and providers. What do you mean by that, and what did you see in the records and in your interview of her?
Yes. Well, in looking back at her history, for example, with Patrick, she dated Patrick when she was in nursing school. And that was at a time that she was experiencing fairly significant anxiety, according to her, such that she went to a psychiatrist and was treated for her anxiety with Prozac and Wellbutrin, and also propranolol. And this was for a fairly significant period of time during their dating, approximately a year. And when I spoke with Mr. Clancy, and also in other testimony and collateral information,
Spit it out.
he was completely unaware that she was experiencing mental health symptoms at that time that they were dating, or that she was taking medication. And he said he did not learn that she had taken medication, mental health medication, Prozac, Wellbutrin. Those are both antidepressants, as well as propranolol, which helps with anxiety, particularly with the kind of presentations that she was doing.
Here it comes.
But he was unaware until during this time that she was having, great difficulty, November, December time period.
And that's of 2022?
Yes. But there are other aspects too, where her portrayal misled others in terms of how she was doing.
Can you give us an example of that?
Yes. Well, in the numerous text messages, which really varied, there were times when she stated that she was doing very well. And for example, even in the days leading up to the 24th of January 2023, the photographs that she was sending on Instagram and the like really portrayed something very different than what she later stated was going on inside. With regard to providers, Ms. Clancy told me that during this period that she was having such difficulty, and that was really really starting in October. She started taking medication in October. Ms. Clancy told me that she was having real difficulty with some symptoms and anxiety and the like. Her mother-in-law suggested to her that there was a doctor that she knew named Rose who was willing to talk with her just on an informal basis. And so as I understand, this doctor made time for her to be seen, not in an official way, not as in a doctor-patient relationship, but just to get an understanding about Ms. Clancy's problems. And that this doctor recommended Lamictal or lamotrigine as a medication that could be very helpful, with regard to the depression she was experiencing, the issues with mood and the like. And so in looking at Dr. Tufts' notes, there is a note, I believe, on December 1st of 2022, in which they discuss Lamictal as a real possible medication. And then by mid-December, it was really a very, very difficult time. The whole month of December, in many ways, was very difficult. But after this experience.
Yeah, we have a question.
So you've talked about the defendant seeing the provider named Rose and getting the recommendation for Lamictal, the defendant talking to Dr. Tufts about the Lamictal. Was there another provider that she talked to about Lamictal?
Yes.
And who was that?
That was nurse practitioner Gelada.
And eventually was Lamictal prescribed by one of these providers?
Well, really by both. And when you say talking, it was a written communication and not a verbal one.
He's glitching again. He's glitching.
And so could you tell from the records whether or not Ms. Clancy filled the prescription for Lamictal?
Yes.
What is Lamictal?
Lamotrigine is actually, Lamictal is an anticonvulsant that was approved for bipolar disorder back in the early 2000s, I think 2003, for bipolar disorder. Now it's used for epilepsy, but also been found by the FDA to be extremely helpful in depression related to bipolar disorder.
And after receiving the 3 recommendations to try Lamictal and the prescription from Dr. Tufts, which she filled, did the defendant tell you whether or not she took the Lamictal?
She told me that she had decided not to take the Lamictal because she was concerned about the potential for a rash, a serious rash.
And the fact that 3 providers recommended this medication to help her and the defendant chose not to take it because of the potential of this rash, was that significant to you in any way in your evaluation?
Yes.
And how so?
Well, Dr. Tufts had written a prescription and it had been filled. Actually, Nurse Gelada also wrote a prescription for the Lamictal, and Ms. Clancy told her, well, you can cancel that because I already have a prescription of Lamictal from Dr. Tufts. What was concerning was that I don't see evidence that Dr. Tufts
What was that growl,
was
guys?
notified that she had decided against the Lamictal. And so that would have given a provider an opportunity to think about something else that also could help in this domain. But yet Ms. Clancy had decided not to take it, but also not to tell the doctor that she had decided not to take it.
Well, doctor, was there also something that you noticed in the way Ms. Clancy described to you, how she was feeling at McLean Hospital when she was there versus the description of her feelings in the McLean records?
Yes.
And what was the difference between the two, and how was it significant in your evaluation?
Here we go.
I recall that she told me that she felt like a zombie. Very, very significantly affected. And certainly, while the records at McLean demonstrate that she was not doing well, there were differences in terms of how she characterized that.
And when a patient is characterizing how she felt at a certain time in different ways, one to you and in a different way to her actual provider at the time, is that concerning in any way?
Well, yes.
And why is that?
Well, the more candid a patient can be with the symptoms that they're experiencing, the better able the prescriber is to make a determination about how best to treat those symptoms. And also it can be very helpful in diagnosis as well.
And did you also take note of the appointment Dr. Tufts had with the defendant on January 23rd, 2023 in the records, and the fact that the defendant denied experiencing suicidal or homicidal ideation in that meeting?
Yes.
And how was that significant, if it was?
Well, Ms. Clancy had been looking into alternative treatments and had discussed with Dr. Tufts earlier the potential for esketamine. This is an FDA-approved medication that has to be administered by a doctor within a facility, but it can have rapid positive effects in treating depression. And so in that note, Dr. Tufts wrote that the potential for esketamine treatment or transcranial magnetic stimulation were ones that they were exploring.
Now, doctor, did you discuss with Ms. Clancy, or did she describe to you in any detail her ability to suppress her feelings and kind of mold her behavior into what she wanted people to see?
Yes.
And what did she tell you about that?
Well, I believe it was a Christmas time with her family, a morning breakfast, in which she stated she was not feeling well, not doing well, but yet felt the need to act like she was cooking and helping her husband cook. And she questioned why she would do that or engage in that behavior when her family knew that she was struggling and having difficulty. So she used the word fake with regard to just how she was attempting to present to her family. So this was on reflection in talking to me about that behavior at that time. And
did she also tell you about an incident at Spalding Hospital when she was interacting with a friend of hers who was visiting there after
Yeah, Nikki.
she went to Spalding Hospital for rehabilitation.
Yes.
And what did she tell you about that?
She told me that this friend who visited was a longtime friend from when they were both really quite young. And that when this friend visited, Ms. Clancy engaged in, trying to remember how she characterized it, gossip, really talking about kind of the old times and catching up basically on news that this friend, I believe her name was Amy Bevins, they had similar or shared experiences. And so Ms. Clancy told me she was upset at Spalding Hospital because this superficial conversation that she had without discussion of the incident of 24 January 2023, that gave an impression, maybe a false impression of Ms. Clancy, and that it hurt the friendship as a result. And she felt that Spalding Hospital had they provided better psychiatric care, better mental health care, she would not have been so superficial in talking with her friend.
Did she also express anger to you that the staff at Spalding had prioritized her spinal cord injury needs over her mental health needs?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Did Ms. Clancy tell you or express anger to you that the staff at Spalding Hospital had prioritized her spinal cord injury needs over her mental health needs?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to put into evidence excerpts from the Spalding records showing the mental health
This is the ending.
consults and
She
treatment
said this is
of
where you're going to
Ms.
get
Clancy.
aggravated.
Objection.
More
That
than
may-
I
that
already
may be
am?
admitted.
294.
Watch this.
And so, Doctor, did you have an opportunity to review the Spalding records?
Yes.
And did you see in the Spalding records that not only a psychiatrist, but also a psychologist and a social worker met with Ms. Clancy while she was at Spalding multiple times?
Yes.
And is there anything about the inconsistency of Ms. Clancy telling you that she didn't receive that treatment or that focus at Spalding versus the record, what the records show that are significant in your evaluation of her?
Well, it's inconsistent and doesn't match up with that collateral information. So her depiction of the lack of mental health care at Spalding didn't match up with the evidence from Spalding in terms of the documents. Spalding is a rehab hospital. And that is really, they were really concentrated on the spinal injury, but also did have mental health services available.
And Doctor, moving along in your analysis, did you look into and evaluate the defendant's decision to send Patrick Clancy on errands on January 24th, 2023?
Yes.
And what stood out to you as significant in what you learned from the records and from Ms. Clancy herself in that area?
I asked Ms. Clancy to tell me about that that afternoon and specifically that decision for takeout. And as I recall, she told me that she texted her husband, Patrick, basically to say what would you think about having takeout? It's been a long day. And a fairly broad, open-ended request, and that he responded positively. And from then, she made the arrangements to look up the distance between their home, and 3V restaurant in Plymouth, but also looking at, basically making plans to have the food ordered. And she had texted her husband ultimately and asked him about.
Are you stroking out?
To tell her what order to make. And so, in looking at the record, it was really reversed. Instead of starting with asking her husband, what would you think about takeout? How about getting takeout? The record shows that Ms. Clancy did a lot of searching prior to that in terms of 3V, the distance.
You're looking dizzy, buddy. You're running around in circles. You're looking dizzy.
So there were a number.
This one's got lice.
Information prior to
Even the lady scratching her head like, for fuck's sake.
A text, or sending a text to her husband. And in the text, rather than saying, what would you think about takeout, getting takeout, she said, how about getting takeout at 3V?
Oh, guilty as sin.
I am, it's been a long day, etc. And so this reversal in terms of what she told me, and what actually we see in the collateral, I thought was significant.
How so?
Duh.
Well, she told me that the only restaurant that she could remember about getting takeout was 3B. And Patrick told me that they had never gotten takeout from 3B. He named West End Grill and Chestnut Grill as places that were in Duxbury and close by that they liked and that they often got takeout from. They had been to 3V and they liked it. They had gone as a family, but they had never gotten takeout there, takeout from 3V. And so presenting
I want to look up the distance to Western
not just
Grill
the
and
idea
the
of
other grill.
takeout, but how about 3V? And she had already done lots of checking about distance and the like. I thought was inconsistent. What I saw from the record was not what she told me in terms of the order in which she made those decisions, and so I saw that as being significant.
And was there a similar scenario with the request of Patrick from the defendant to also go to CVS?
Yes.
And so what was the difference between what she told you about the plan to go to CVS and, or what she told Patrick, and what she had done in terms of research?
Well, the research for, I think it was Miralax, which
It was 3 minutes down the road to CVS.
Suggested for Cora's
constipation.
They had an appointment that morning in pediatrics, and this was suggested that the Miralax and CVS was something that Ms. Clancy looked into sometime after 4 o'clock, but not long after 4 o'clock, and well before she contacted her husband. But that
But if he was already going
She
out and
did
she
not
knew it and had it in her mind he was going out for
communicate to
dinner,
her
why would you
husband the
send the man
importance of picking
on
up
two separate
Miralax
errands?
at CVS, who she had called, until really right before he left. So he had planned on going to 3B, driving to 3B, almost 6 miles, to get the takeout. And then she also added on that other errand.
CVS was 3
Right
minutes
before he
down the
left.
block.
And so was it significant to you that she had researched the Miralax and looked into CVS an hour before, but just added that that part of the errand on right before her husband left?
Why wouldn't you?
Yes.
And why?
Well, it lengthened the trip.
3 minutes to
It added
CVS.
one extra obligation for Patrick.
He went to
and
CVS
that would
first to get the medicine.
make for a longer time that he was away.
3 minutes down the road.
And moving along in your analysis, you discuss Ms. Clancy's suicide attempt, and you say that it was serious,
This
but
is it,
required
guys.
sequential
This is
decision-making.
where
Is
you're
that
going to have
correct?
enough.
Can you just repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sure. In your report, you describe Ms. Clancy's suicide attempt as serious, correct?
Correct.
And you also state that it required sequential decision-making. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about why you found that it was serious and how you found that it required that sequential decision-making?
Well, I think in looking over her records previous to that day, 24 January, she had contacted Aspire twice, the suicide hotline, and spoken to them. And really, as I recall, since early December had been speaking about suicidal ideation. So this was something that that was significant for her. There was, of course, an assessment at, in the emergency department on the 15th of December. So you look through the record and then you do see that she was concerned about self-harm and suicidal ideation. If we look at the actual day after the children were killed, or after the children were strangled, Callan was still living at the time that EMS arrived. She told me that she got a knife from the butcher block in the kitchen, and then went upstairs and attempted to cut herself. That she also took pills or took an overdose. And I asked her about that, really trying to understand.
Objective as to what he was trying to understand.
No, overall.
Really to try and understand how she accomplished the overdose. Because if you're swallowing lots and lots of pills, that can be difficult.
You heard that?
And so how many times, how many handfuls of pills did you take or whatever? And
How many handfuls did both of you take?
She told me that she had.
How many handfuls did she take swallowing the pills?
He said both of you take.
Well, no, well, I don't know about that. He just said, how many handfuls did she take?
Okay.
Slashed the screen and dove
remember,
out the window.
She didn't take handfuls of pills.
Doctor, if I could ask you a question.
This is where she leads them.
In terms of taking the pills, what did Ms. Clancy tell you about how she took the pills?
I'm sorry.
What did Miss Clancy tell you about how she took the pills?
He don't remember a script.
It wasn't really very clear. I was.
Objection. Requesting what she said is the question.
Do you recall what she said?
I'm sorry.
Do you recall what she said about taking the pills, whether she took handfuls or did something else?
Oh, she did not say that she took handfuls. She did not describe the overdose in any specific terms.
Did she tell you anything about crushing up pills?
Objection. Leading question.
It's already been answered. Next question.
Did she give you any other information about taking the pills?
No.
So first she told him about taking handfuls of pills. Then when the prosecuting attorney said something, then it was, well, she didn't tell me about taking a handful of pills. Then it was, did she say anything about crushing the pills? Now watch. Now all of a sudden he remembers.
Now, if you could tell us that portion that I asked you about earlier, what is sequential decision making and how did you see that in her behavior?
Well, as I mentioned, she, after strangling the 3 children with the exercise bands, she went up the steps, went to the kitchen, she got a knife, and then ascended yet another group of steps to her bedroom, to their bedroom. And
He's stuck. You don't know what
described
to say right
the
now. Crushing the pills.
attempt
Watch.
or cutting her wrists as well as her neck. And also described the overdose in barely, it was just hard for me to get a good idea about how specifically the overdose occurred, what she did.
Why was that so hard to get out of her?
Some things that I thought were significant.
And what things did she omit that you think were significant?
Well, she omitted the fact that she had actually crushed the pills.
Come on.
And
Now you're saying that she omitted the fact that she crushed the pills. You just said that she swallowed handfuls of pills and you questioned her about it. Then the prosecution told you that she crushed the pills and now all of a sudden she omitted that, but you knew that. Like, this is wild.
I found that to be, quite significant.
And how did you learn that she had crushed the pills?
I learned after interviewing her husband, Patrick.
No, you didn't,
And
you liar.
he went through that evening and talked about coming to the home and the like, and mentioned that on the bedside table, there was a wine tumbler with powdered,
I feel like somebody's telling him what to say. It sounds like he's getting fed
crushed up
information.
medication, that there was still some in the wine tumbler. And I had not heard, she had not told me that she had actually crushed the medication. And I know that in Dr. Resnick's report, and also in what Lindsay Clancy told me, that she had lemonade in that wine tumbler when she took the overdose. And when I asked Patrick Clancy, he told me that he didn't think they had any lemonade in the house, that was not typical at all.
And doctor, what is the significance?
Finish, please.
That's-
I'm sorry, were you
done
not
with it?
finished?
You done with it? Hold on. You
Yes.
done with that answer? All right. Next question.
And so, doctor, what is the significance to you, if anything, of this atypical use of lemonade and the crushed powder in the cup?
You say what is atypical?
I think you just said that Patrick Clancy said it wasn't typical to have lemonade, correct?
Correct.
So is there any significance to you to the fact that there was lemonade in the cup and that there was powder residue in the cup? Or straight that, was there any significance to the fact that Lindsay Clancy told you that there was lemonade in the cup and that Patrick Clancy saw powdered residue in the cup?
Yes, it made sense that lemonade would be in the cup if you're trying to take an overdose of medication that you've crushed, just because of the bitterness that these pills have. So that made sense. I asked her more about the lemonade, and she told me that it had been in the wine tumbler from the night before.
And in terms of the decision-making process, like what types of decisions is she making? Are you referring to, what to take and how to take it and when to take it and when to cut herself, those types of decisions?
Well,
He's lying.
crushing pills is really a challenge.
No, it's
if
not.
you don't have the right equipment, if you don't have like a mortar and a pestle that they might have in a pharmacy. And so what I wondered about was that
You can use the
process
cup to
of
crush it.
crushing the pills to the point that they were powder in order then to put them in lemonade and then drink them. And so that is, to crush pills, significant number of pills into fine powder is not an easy thing to do.
Yes, it
particularly
is
if
with
you
the
don't
cup. Come
have
on, man.
the right equipment.
Come on.
It's just kind of a laborious process. And she also
He doesn't know how to answer her question.
it was Patrick Clancy who told me about the door being locked, and she told me she did not recall locking the door.
And in terms of Ms.
Maybe because she was in a
Clancy's ability
psychosis, she didn't
to
remember it.
execute the strangulation of her children, is there anything about how she did it, what she did, that stood out to you in your evaluation?
Yes.
And what is that?
Ms. Clancy told me that she, after the phone call with her husband, she returned the call, that was when she took Dawson down the steps into her husband's office to strangle him. And I asked Ms. Clancy about what she remembered about what she said to Dawson to get him to go down the steps and leave, his sister and brother upstairs. And was there resistance, verbalization, et cetera, crying? And she said she could not recall that. She could only recall bringing him down the steps and then strangling him. And then she repeated that. The next child was Cora, that she went back upstairs and did not recall how she got Cora down the steps, how Cora came down the steps, but then brought her into a different area, kind of a living room area in the basement, and strangled Cora. And then lastly, that she went up to get Callan. And I asked her, I said, where was Callan? upstairs. And she said, well, maybe in a playpen, often, she said she couldn't really remember, but then bringing Callan down. And he was the last child to be strangled, all during this time where this voice is over and over again saying, this is your last chance. You have to kill the children before you kill yourself.
Doctor, is there any significance to the fact that this voice is telling her to kill the children, but not telling her how to kill the children?
Yes.
And what is that?
Just like adults, children have a will to survive, strong will to survive. I think it's just part of being human. And so I know that Dr. Resnick described Ms. Clancy as acting as if she were a puppet. But the children are not puppets. And just in looking at the Cape Codder video where Ms. Clancy is holding Callan and Dawson and Cora are there, I mean, they both are active. They can walk, they can run. And so to make the determination about
I'm going to object to that.
All right, can I see counsel at sidebar?
Come on, tell me he wasn't lying.
The judge is like, I'm done.
The Bo Peep literally had to lead him to everything because he didn't know. Like, come on.
That was the part I was talking about that I kind of caught with him talking about what had happened with the kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he lied. He lied about the pill thing. Like, you know what I mean? I asked her about swallowing the pills, and then all of a sudden, once the prosecution said, "Oh, she crushed them," then all of a sudden was, "Oh, right, because it was inconsistent." That's what she told me. But yeah, come on, come on.
I couldn't remember what he was told to say.
Mm-hmm.
What I felt like.
The breaks in the pauses in his testimony almost sounds like he's being fed what to say.
Could you imagine the court reporter, how many times she had to say,
Right?
She's scratching her head.
I wonder if, hey, Bell Life. We're just going over this morning. Yeah, the noises, I wonder if those are going to be in transcript. Grunt, grunt, moan, grunt, grunt, hesitation, moan.
Do they come
grunt.
back? Or was that
No,
it?
they don't come back. This is it.
Okay.
That was it. That's the big thing that you missed today. That testimony was crap.
Wow. And we're
Yeah.
picking back up with him in the morning?
And we're picking back up right from here. Have you, Belle? No, we've been over here streaming it. But yeah.
Hold on, I
picking
lost
up.
sound when you switched. If you're talking.
Oh, I'm talking. Can you not hear me? Well, there she goes, guys. So we're going to end here tonight, and we will pick this up. Oh, here she is. Is this she's back? Can you hear now?
Yeah, it's like when you
All right.
switch, then my sound went.
That's funny. But yeah, so this is where it ends today, and then we pick up right from here. I'm sure she'll finish asking him. I said evening on TikTok. I know. I don't know why I ended up coming over here. I was bored
Because I was
earlier,
going to try out
and
my computer.
then you popped up and tried it. I think we just got stuck over here.
We
But
didn't
yeah,
get
we'll be
stuck. We wanted
streaming
to
it.
be.
We will be streaming this. I'll probably start the streaming like 10 o'clock tomorrow, like always, just because I like to be able to fast forward through the sidebars. But yeah, we pick up tomorrow with prosecution still questioning him, and then Reddington gets a shred.
Yeah, and that works out good because tomorrow morning I don't have to leave here until 10
Oh,
because
good.
I always have people on TikTok. We have coffee in the morning and watch a little bit before you go on, and then everybody gets the recap.
Yep, that works.
It
So
does.
yeah,
It has been working out good.
it has.
Oh, and the lady that I uh talked to you guys about that lives in Arizona. I give you guys the name of that book.
Oh yeah.
She got back today and she is interested in doing it.
Oh nice. That'll be awesome.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's just
I
I need to
agree.
figure out if we're gonna do it here on YT or on TikTok. 'Cause I really don't want her getting doxxed or anything.
Yeah. You got to be
So
careful with it.
yeah.
Be messy.
All right, guys. I'm going to bed.
Me too. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow morning at 10, and I'll see you as soon as I get the kiddos off in school in your coffee.
Yeah, pop in for coffee and we'll see you then.
All right, guys. Good night.
Night chat.